that wears a crown. YouTube haters wanna pull me down. Heavy is the head that wears a crown. YouTube haters wanna pull me down. The brass keeps high in a smoky blue, while the HOK grabs a hold of you. The death for you, the ghost in you, damn. Midnight wine in a crystal glass, sipping on it, kicking Hebrew's ass. I'll never trade my throne. You jigaboo clowns, keep my name out your mouth when you hear me through the sound. Sa.neter, listen, heavy is the head that wears a crown. Heavy is the head, yeah, I'm wearing it proud. Heavy is the head that wears a crown. YouTube haters wanna pull me down. I built this from the basement, now I'm never looking down. You just chasing for the surface while I'm out here getting found.
Family, all right, it is that time. You know, it says 363 on my screen too. The amount of people in the chat right now. Let's go. Yeah, it's that time, family. Ooh, y'all in for one tonight. Somebody said, hey, family, this will be a walk down memory lane. It sure will. It's gonna feel good to a lot of family who grew up on the sa.neter, the Black Dot videos, the Shabazz videos, the Chris videos, the Eye Open House of Consciousness. And for those who are curious about where did all of this start and who introduced everybody to this is going to be an eye-opening experience. So with that, eye-opening experience. So with that being said, I want to welcome to the platform. Now, these are not only OGs, these are legends. These are individuals who have a huge impact on everything, especially with the Epstein shit going on. I remember buying tapes of sa.neter where the dudes on his tapes talked about all this shit, and I didn't know if they was bugging out or not. So it's so timely to have these individuals on the show right now. I want to welcome, and a couple of more of the family still coming on, but I want to welcome right now sa.neter, the one and only sa.neter, the one and only Red Pill, the one and only Black Dot, the one and only brother Shabazz, and the one and only brother Chris. Welcome to the show, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man,
Thank
oh
you.
man.
Honor.
Where is, let me see if Sutek is in the back. No, I still don't have Sutek in the back. Oh man, wow. Like I said, let me put this on this, make it a little bigger. Shout out to everybody in the chat. By the way, make sure you hit that like button. So to start out with, I got so many legends in the building. We got a lot of history to talk about. It's going to be very celebratory tonight. We're going to have a good time reminiscing tonight. And I really want tonight to lead into a more in-depth documentary. And I will talk to all of y'all about the possibilities that happen. I think that is, you know, it's definitely has the ability to happen. But tonight I want to lead into an in-depth documentary because what happened in New York City during the late 90s, early 2000s was absolutely amazing. I want to start out with a simple question. But this question might be the greatest question in the world. It's so simple, it might be the greatest question in the world. That's how amazing it is. I want to know, what the hell exactly is the conscious community? Because it's one of the most ambiguous terms I've ever heard of. If you ask 10 different people, you'll get 10 different answers. One person will say, oh, that's sa.neter and them debate niggas. Somebody else will say, oh, that's Shabazz and this. Another person will say, oh, that's Black Dot, LIU. Somebody else will say, you know, Red Pill and the Twins and da-da-da-da. Another person will say, oh, that's Rich with all that spooky shit. And so it's Phil Valentine. It'll go, you'll hear 15 different responses from 15 different people, but it's one of the most used terms on the internet. Whenever you see somebody talking quote unquote conscious stuff, oh, he one of them conscious communities, so and so. So just real quick, each one of y'all, what is the conscious community to y'all, since this term is so ambiguous? Who want to start out?
Go.
You say you, Chris?
I said, who wants to start it off? Oh man, the conscious community. It is an ambiguous term. Collectively, we started out as a group of people who were on one frequency, one wavelength of consciousness. Streamlining our common thoughts and processes of what was going on back in the day, with certain nuances and certain things that were happening in the communities and around the world, globally, spiritually, or whatever. And, it was just a group of us that came together. We were kind of like the outsiders, you know what I mean? And because we weren't accepting what society was offering us as a whole. So we stepped outside of our box, literally, proverbially, our box. And we came together as a people who said that we're going to, think outside of the box, and we're going to come with this abstract way of thinking. So I think that the conscious community formed out of people who just didn't accept the norm, who just didn't accept what society and the world had to feed them. You know what I'm saying? Because, we wanted to be different because we considered ourselves a little bit more woke. If I could use that term now, they hijacked that term and corrupted it. So, we considered ourselves just people who were more aware than others. So we used that platform and we used that community gathering. And, I think that's where the term came about. Conscious only means awake. You know what I'm saying? It means that, you're aware of something. So I think that, ambiguously, now that it's used so, much. I think that's my terminology of how it started. And that's what we did back then.
Indeed.
I would like to chime in.
Yeah.
First and foremost, to acknowledge Brother Chris, because a lot of people don't know his face, right? Because he remained behind the scenes. Right. So if you're in the comment section now and you go, I don't recognize this brother, but if you know I opened the production and you came and you paid your fee at the door, this was the brother that greeted you at the door. Not only that, as the conversation proceeds, we'll understand that the re-emergence, because the conscious community has so many layers to it. When Dr. Phil was in his home in the 80s, and Al Bielek and all of them were coming through, and they were having these 24-hour meetings at his home, and they were hashing out information, like Brother Chris said, that was out of the norm. And then this thing spilled into what we call the community, only due to those who were willing to receive and accept information that was out of the box. And I'd also would like to shout out, because somebody asked, where's the feminine energy? I want to shout out Sister Bert. I want to shout out Azariah. I want to shout out Big Man. I want to shout out Brother Leon. I want to shout out Say Cool Brown and so many Say Cool and so many others who paved the way for what will become known as the conscious community. And again, just a common unity amongst our thought process and the elders that came in to usher in what will be next.
Indeed. And real quick, before somebody else responds to the comment about the sisters, this show is about sort of the people distributing the information, and these are all the people that it has nothing to do. It's not, I'm just picking males in general, but these are the people who were distributing. This is history right here. One thing I want to say, I want to give a big shout out, a rise in power to Sister Bert, because before I met anybody on this panel, it was her show on public access that introduced me to Brother Big Man, who eventually led me to sa.neter. But Sister Burke is not with us no more. I met her one time in person at LIU. Thank God Brother Shabazz was doing his lectures, opener. But rest in power to Sister Burke. She is the first person who introduced me to this information because of a public access show on Manhattan. But go ahead. Anybody want to go next?
I would like to go.
Yeah.
I would like to go.
You want to do it, sa.neter?
Yes, I would like to go.
Ahead.
The consciousness.
What the fuck is wrong with my shit?
We started. We can hear you, Shabazz. Put it on mute. The consciousness, man. It started with Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemitt, as far as I know. You know, they used to take it back and they used to deal with the consciousness in the conscious community. And so when I took it to the street, I just kept pushing the conscious community. And so the conscious community back then was super great. Everybody wanted to be a part of it. But you know, when YouTube started coming in, when you got to put them on mute, Rich. When YouTube came in, everybody became a part of the conscious community. And that's what really messed up the conscious community, where nobody really wanted to be a part of it no more. You know, you had brothers coming in, scamming, and y'all know who I'm talking about. There's a few people scamming and, you know, messing up the whole wave and the whole movement. You know what I'm saying? But the conscious community was the move. Everybody and their mama wanted to be a part of it. And people was coming from all over the world. Red Pill know, my brother Sutek know. They've been out there on the streets with me, and they would see people coming from all over. Yo, I'm coming in, man. I'm coming to see Red Pill. I'm coming to see sa.neter. Coming to see Jack, Sutek. You know what I'm saying? So it was a beautiful sight to see. If y'all missed it, I would like to play a video. I wanted to start it off, Rich, and play a video real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, by the way, yeah. So we're gonna be talking, but sa.neter is one of the best people I've ever met that documents everything. So he got like footage that's gonna bring us back down memory lane. So yes, sa.neter, go ahead. He got a couple of videos together.
I want to thank you, Brother Rich, for even putting this together. Did you see King Simon in the chat? He want to know why he ain't been invited.
Yeah. So King Simon. So the reason King Simon is when I came into the community. You weren't there. You came around the polite era. So I did a panel of people who were there. I'm talking about 2005. I didn't meet Shabazz, but I knew of Shabazz. His name rung bells. Black Dot. I heard of Red Pill. I seen Red Pill. I seen all these gentlemen at Chocolate Cafe or somewhere. I went to one lecture in Brooklyn and I seen them do their thing. Sutek had the store in Harlem. So this was before I even met my queen, before sa.neter even introduced me to my queen. This is when I'm like 22 years old, 21, 20, 19. I met sa.neter when I was like 19 or something like that. So this is like early era. But go ahead, sa.neter. Play that
all
video.
All these brothers up here is legends, you know. And I want to say thank you to you, Brother Rich, for even putting all of this together. So that this is definitely important because people think we just YouTubers. They don't know that we the fathers of all of this. You know what I'm saying? We the fathers of bringing this knowledge and information to the people. They don't know that. And so I wanted to start this off with you, Brother Rich.
Uh-oh. Let me hear it. What you got?
Share my screen, the first one, where you see Black News.
Okay, this one?
Yes. All right, y'all just be patient a little bit. This should have been the opening right here. And I want to let y'all know that, right? Just because you see us on YouTube, we've been in the street. Rich been on the battleground. All of us been on the battlegrounds in the street. We didn't just run to YouTube.
What you got, Star? Let me see what you got.
They keep taking our black dollars, but they don't give a fuck about us. So why come to our neighborhood where you don't like your own people? Why you only care about our
before YouTube, y'all?
Money. That's bullshit. And black people need to learn to stop spending money in them.
They interviewed over 100 Nazi war criminals. They asked them, why did y'all do all of these acts? All of them said, I was just doing my job.
We got to be aware of the press as well, because the press is definitely not for us. They're not with us. And watch the message that they will put out tomorrow.
These people don't see us as human beings. They see us as lower than them. We're beneath them.
So they said, what is it about the Nazi war criminals where all of them keep saying I'm doing my job? They figured out psychologically.
Zoom in on that white bitch right there. Look at her. Look at her. She's down. Look at the side she's on. She's on that side right there.
Stop spending money in them. These people don't give a fuck about us. Like, seriously. When black people are gonna learn? When black people ever going to learn?
Corporations abuse us. They just say, man, listen, I know I gave them a bad record contract, but I'm just doing my job.
So when she put out the report, she's gonna try to make it look like we are savages and we are wrong.
What do we want? Justice. What do we
whenever you hear somebody say, I'm just doing my job, know after that, some bullshit comes. You about to get fucked after they say, I'm just doing my job.
Look at the report that they put out in the paper yesterday. So understand.
All right.
All right.
So it used to get raw in the streets. It used to get raw. That was Brooklyn. I remember that. That was Brooklyn.
The white shirts came and it was about to turn up even more. He was going to see me go in even more on the white shirts. But anyway, man, that was in Brooklyn, and that was the time when the Chinese women, if y'all remember, beat up a black sister.
A black woman. Yeah, they beat up a black
woman. We went there to shut them down, and we did good. We shut them down. We went out there every day. It was people that went out every day to shut them down. Wow. All right. I'm going to pass the mic to you, brother Shabazz.
Indeed.
Yeah, peace, everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Shabazz.
Well, you know, I'm gonna be honest. This is an honor, right, to be with y'all. I've known each and every one of these brothers, you know, for a long time, and I look at it in a way where we didn't necessarily create something. We were in a continuum of the knowledge, you know. It goes back, man. It goes way back. And it's very important, and not to slight anywhere else in the country, but New York City is the Mecca for a lot of reasons. Not just because, you know, it's a term that was given to it like that, because you go back to the 1800s. You go to 1855 with Pascal Beverly Randolph. You could go to Schomburg. In 1911, these brothers started the Negro Society for Historical Research. You could go Marcus Garvey started the UNIA movement in America in Harlem. You know, you could go, you look at Malcolm X in Temple No. 7 in Harlem. You know, I myself, I was born in Harlem, I was raised in Brooklyn, and I used to go to the Slave Theater. That's where I met Burt, Clemson Brown, Big Man. I met Yusef, Timbuktu Productions, Leon, Captain. I met all of them. And they took a liking to me because I used to sell books, you know. That was the first part. The books was the first renaissance of knowledge in the black community in the 80s.
There you go. There you go.
When they threw drugs at us, we would come back with something else. Because they were just responding to our greatness. Whenever they see us rise, they come with something to try to annihilate it. You see all this friction and nonsense in the conscious community. That's because they saw the greatness of it. So they're gonna respond like that. But anyway, getting back to it, man. You know, I met sa.neter through Lord Graceful, my educator in the Nation of Gods and Earth. Lord Graceful showed me a flyer from sa.neter.
Lord Graceful.
Yeah, he introduced me to you, and he knew that we would make a hell of a team together. That's what's interesting enough, because I was already dealing with the tapes, but not on the level. When I saw sa.neter, I said, wait a minute. This is what I got to do too. So we both came brainstorm together. This was before we had, sa.neter was walking around with the tapes in his hands at the juice bar.
Yeah.
You remember that sa.neter?
Of course, man.
Yo, let me tell you something. And his name wasn't even sa.neter.
What was it?
What'd you say?
What was it?
It was Salik Quran.
That's right.
He was a Muslim back then.
That's right.
A lot of people don't know that. You know, but me and this brother have a deep, deep, deep relationship. And no matter what goes on, I never questioned his integrity of the fact that he loves our people. He want to see our people rise. And that's a part of the conscious community right there. When you said, what is the conscious community? It's all that and more. And it's that, and it's not a lot of other shit. It's such it's intangible. It's not an organized group. You can't count no membership. It's just those on a frequency trying to gain more knowledge, trying to elevate themselves, trying to do right by their people, trying to make this place better for our babies, trying to teach some knowledge that people don't have. You know, we go back to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. These people tried to uplift fallen humanity, man. And that's what we did. That's what we were doing. That's what we're doing now, man. You know, the Father of Law. You know, what I loved about this whole thing, it accepted everyone as they are. and we all came. What we did different, we broke those barriers of saying, "Oh, you are Ansar, oh, you are 5%."
There you go.
We all came together. That's what's so different
every
about
year.
Our movement. And
there
me
you
and
go.
sa.neter was a Black Panther, man.
Yeah.
sa.neter was a strong Black. He was standing, but he accepted Muslim. He accepted. You could be a Christian. You could be anything as long as you want to elevate your knowledge, man, and gather your forces together to elevate our people. And then it started to include a lot more. But then, as always, they try to throw something at us. But you know what? Y'all still here doing stuff. I'm still here doing things, man. As a matter of fact, you know, I'm still doing events. But we'll talk about that throughout the night, man.
Indeed. You know, so, all right, just to give an example. So, like a lot of times, I'm going to use women as an example.
Real quick.
Good. Oh, I'm sorry, Red.
Are you still answering the question?
Yes, I'm sorry, Red.
Did Dot go?
Yes, he did go.
Okay, because all of these brothers on the panel, I see these as my OGs, right? Every single one of them set the table and, you know, made it right when me and Blue Pill came around. As a matter of fact, I remember it was brother Chris who made it possible for Blue to interview Dr. Valentine for One Up on the Frequency in 2001. And unbeknownst to anybody, that was huge back then to be on film with Dr. Valentine. That was like legendary. I do want to reflect what was said by Shabazz, that the DVD, VHS, the promotional movement was a continuum of the mighty movement that took over in New York with the bookstores.
Love it.
So bookstore consciousness was a whole thing, right? And then when it went into the videos and whatnot, and it went into that form, then you had the formation of the metaphysical underground and the dark matter think tank. So the dark matter think tank and the metaphysical underground were these groups that would come together. They were sort of like study groups. So you had groups that were dedicated to these teachers and these teachings and whatnot, and they had these think tanks. And the think tanks eventually began the process of the foundation of what we have as the conscious community. And for the record, the conscious community is the multiple schools of knowledge coming together. Think college, think university. You have a school of medicine, you got schools of science. Well, you had the school of the MSTA. Then you had the school of the quote unquote metaphysics. Then you have the school of occultism. The categories in these schools were broken down with the vendors. Remember, sa.neter had the rack of metaphysical videos. Then he had the rack of the Moorish law. Then he had the rack of Shabazz, had the rack of Bobby. Then he had the rack of Phil. Then he had the rack of Delbert Blair. Then he had the rack of Hakeem Bey. Then he had the rack of Taj videos. So all of the people who were in those schools of thought and knowledge would converge and whatnot and come together, both IRL in real life on 125th Street. Then we had the big tent events, and that was lectures at LIU, O'Berry Dempsey Center, and National Black Theater and whatnot. Those would be the social events where everybody came together. And like Shabazz was saying, this was the very first time when God Bodies was able to kick it, where Rastafarians was able to kick it, with Ansar Allah was able to kick it, because before that, everything was segmented and it was separated and whatnot. The conscious community brought everything together.
Indeed. No,
hey, can I add on for a minute, Rich?
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
I remember when I first met the Dot, when I first met Black Dot, on 127th Street, we at the UAM, and I'm on my way to the UAM. Here come Dot walking up the street, and he got tapes, cassette tapes, and he was selling cassette tapes with the hip hop beat on it, with the lectures behind it going in. I remember that day, and I want you to play. It's only 2 minutes, Rich. Play the black one. Play the black dot. I mean the black circle you see.
Okay, I see it.
Black screen.
A little bit about that book.
sa.neter got all the footage. I'm telling y'all. Look at that! Oh shit!
Into its modern day matrix, I felt that it was time to bring some information to change the vibration of the thinking of the people.
That's Young Dot.
Nigga like I'll keep it long.
We know the history, but do we know the mystery? Do we know the power of hip hop? Do we know that these are the same ancients from way back
Young
then? The
Dot.
hieroglyphs, the drummers, the sacred dancers, and the oracle. Do we know that we the same people through the bloodline? So it was my duty to bring this information forth, get it cracking, and now it's out in the universe, and ain't nothing these devils can do about it now. It's a wrap.
But how could a brother or sister get a hold of the book if they from the Bay Area, they want to get a hold of it?
Go to
How
my
could they
website,
get that?
matrixofhiphop.com, or go to amazon.com.
Okay.
And soon we're gonna just start spreading. I'm making connections with brothers like Stanley, and I might just ship him some books. And he can have them and get it moving in the hood, because that's how we do. We create points of references in different places. And when you connect the dots, we run this.
Okay.
Dot, I want to ask you real quick. Thank you so much, sa.neter, for preserving this history.
Wow.
How does that make you feel seeing that old footage? Keeping in mind everything. Then this is specifically to Dot. Real quick, Dot. Keeping in mind everything that we've seen with Diddy, everything we've seen with hip hop, the music industry, and the gay shit, and all that shit that we've been seeing. How does that make you feel seeing that old footage of young Dot, my brother?
Vindicated in the sense that after sitting at the foot of the elders, I tell people we were in like the Marvel universe. The students who came, because each teacher, Dr. Strange, Azariah, this one, Phil, Bobby, they all taught different categories, and they were opening up my mind. But I knew if you apply the unseen, if you want to know about the unknown, you study the known. What my elders were teaching, I said there needs to be a book, but it has to be written in the language of the youth. You know what I'm saying? And as this conversation goes further, I'll talk about when we re-emerged after the elders cycle ended with Brother Chris and Brother Shabazz, what it did when you saw me with the throwback hoodies on and all of that, and it brought in a younger crowd, and that younger crowd are the ones who were activists. And so I wrote all that stuff in the book, mostly out of what the elders was teaching, the conversations, me, Chris, all the young brothers were having, Red Pill, Blue Pill, Rich, I see the Duke of Tears, Adika Butler, and we would have these conversations after the lectures, just kind of building. And I said, this needs to go into a book, and it needs to be put in such language that the youth would understand. So I talked about sex magic. I talked about rituals. I talked about sacrifice, and people thought I was from the moon, except those in the community. And here it is. That book came out in 2005. 20 years later, it is now relevant more so now than it was then. So salute brother Sa for holding all that information.
That's what I'm saying. The documentary Sa got so much footage, y'all.
Rich,
so
let me add something.
Yes, sir.
I'll be remiss if I didn't say this. What Brother Black Dot and Shabazz and Dot could testify to this. When we first started doing our lectures, when I first came up with the concept of wanting to get Phil to do a lecture and going through the hoops and jumping over the hurdles to get him to actually do another lecture, because it's been years. One of the main things that me, Black Dot, and Shabazz talked about was trying to get the youth to come to our lectures. We wanted to stimulate the young people's minds. We wanted to get the youth to come out and start being a part of this movement that we were doing. But the frustrating part in the first, I don't even know if it was the first year, the first two, it was nothing but the old crowd coming out, the older people, the elders from First World, Slave Theater, all them people that would come, the Dempsey, all them people were still coming out. We were getting mostly the elders that used to go see Big Man, Clemson Brown, people that watch Sister Bird. So we were kind of frustrated for a very long time. And I was like, damn, when are the young people going to start coming? You know what I'm saying? So I don't even remember at what point the young people did start coming to our lectures. But eventually they did come.
I remember.
Yeah. And you and your brother.
2006. Yeah. A.A. Rashid comes home.
Okay.
Before we jump there, Red, real quick, Chris, before we jump to that, Red, because that's an important point, and I remember that time period. Real quick, because there were two main movements in New York. There was House of Consciousness in Harlem. That's where I was from. There was Eye Opener in Brooklyn. So I used to always hear about Eye Opener. And the funny thing, I think I went to Brooklyn. I went to the Chocolate Cafe to see a lecture, and I think I bought a tape from Shabazz one time because they told me Shabazz had this extensive Bobby Hemitt collection. So one time when I was young, the sa.neter didn't have as much access to Bobby's tapes as sa.neter at that time. So I went to Shabazz to get some more metaphysical VHS tapes at that time. But I want sa.neter and I want our opener to tell me real quick, nothing long, about the beginning, how this even began, these two movements that created most of what we see on the internet. House of Consciousness and our opener. I see sa.neter thirsty to start.
I was getting a lot of my metaphysical information from Shabazz, brother. Yeah. He would be doing the Bobby Hemitt stuff, the Phil. He would bring in the Delbert Blairs. He would bring in all of those metaphysical brothers. And so as soon as he finished, he would come uptown, hit me with the video, and look for something that he could get, you know? And the young people, I've always had young people, and that was only because I was on the street. I was outside. So Red Pill was out there with me. Red Pill was bringing in the young people. The Blue Pill, they would see them speaking, and the young people would gravitate towards them because they was the young G's out there, and they was going in. When I say Red Pill and Blue Pill was going in, that's how they got it. You see what I'm saying? So it was a lot of them out there, and I got a lot of my fire and information from Brother Shabazz pertaining to the metaphysical information. That's where I get that from. So, yo, I just want to let everybody know that I will be, I see you say 64 years old, I will be 63 years old coming up in April, y'all. So I made it. I ain't make it yet, but I'm going to make it to 63.
That's beautiful, Sa. Well, Sa, real quick, Sa, before you start, what made you start House of Consciousness, Sa? Like, what were you doing? What was your life at? Were you in turmoil? Were you happy? What was going on? What made you start this, my brother?
Well, I began doing it right after the World Trade Center. When that bombing happened, I was concentrating on, should I leave this job? I need to leave this job. You know, if I leave this job, how I'm going to take care of my family? And then I said, you know what? I made up my mind to leave the job. I had a good job. I was working in, you know, for the city at that time, you know, for HRA, Human Resources Administration. And so I used to go to work every day. And then I said, you know what? The hell with this job. I'm going to start doing my consciousness. And so like Shabazz said, I started going outside on the weekend, starting it off with my VHS tape, the VHS tape, standing in front of the juice bar. And people would come by and say, what's this? What's that? And next thing you know, it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Next thing you know, the brother, he calls the cops on me and make me move from in front of his store because he felt that I was banging too hard on his white customers. And so I went up the block, which was the best thing that he could have done. Yeah, I went up the block, across the street from the Apollo Theater. And that was it.
So
and then I began.
Let me let Shabazz.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to mention one more name.
Yes, sir.
Brother Sahu. If you don't, sa.neter, you remember Sahu, the doctor?
Yes.
It was me, him, and sa.neter. We started to come out together, and it's interesting, man. As far as the young people, I'm gonna mention another name. We used to sell tapes of Brother Daoud. And the young people loved to see Brother Daoud because he would lose his mind. He would go crazy on tape. But funny thing about him was he would diss me, he would diss sa.neter, he'd go back and forth, talking shit about everybody. But the young people loved it because he was so crazy with it. And me and sa.neter would film him. We would film this guy and we kept him going, and a lot of the old people hated that we did that. Yeah, I realized we had to do what we had to do, and I wanted to mention that, especially for the brother Sahu. He is a doctor now, and I just saw him the other day, and he's doing great. He gave you a shout out, sa.neter. You know,
all right. He was already into that too.
But Shabazz. How did Eye Opener start it? And I know it was a group thing. Yeah. Thank you.
In the formation of doing the lecture, see, Eye Opener was a name I had a lot of years, but Chris walked up to me, and I was already out there with my table on Flatbush Avenue and Fulton Street, And Chris says, yo, we got all this, but we got to stop. Why don't I want to get Phil Valentine? I said, yo, he's expensive. I knew Phil at the time. And Phil was asking for astronomical amounts of money to do it. But when Chris approached him, when we approached Phil, and he saw how young we were and what we were trying to do, Phil drastically cut his price just to let us do it. And when Phil came and saw all those people came for him at Raw, Real, and Relative, I know y'all remember that. That was the first lecture we did with Phil. But we had done other stuff, but that was the first lecture we did with Phil. And we decided, Black Dot stepped to me. No, Chris stepped to me and said, yo, we need Dot, man. I said, yo, definitely. He was perfect. And we came together, us three. We had already known. I knew Red and Blue Pill before I knew Dot. I met Dot through them. They were working at Four Corners on Atlantic Avenue, and I met Dot through them. But yo, this is so appropriate because let me tell you something, man. I used to wear a do-rag all the time. Dot.
I remember.
We was like, and sa.neter was always on his military gear. I mean, we was straight up young people from the street, man, and that's what brought the young people, man. And I know Pill said something about Rashid coming home. I remember the him about to come home. We had gotten quite a few young people already, but I was in communication with AA for a long time while he was incarcerated. When he came home, man, that's a good brother, man. But sa.neter, man, I remember us coming together. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. It was the spirit of unity. It was pure. We was all about just elevating our people. We wasn't on it like I remember when sa.neter left his job. I remember when I left my job. We both left our jobs on that, and we just fell back into the arms of the community, and it worked out, man. I remember when Black Dot left his job. I remember Chris just retired, but all of us had some very, very good jobs, man.
Right. It wasn't all like city workers, might I point out.
Man, I worked for Verizon. I was getting money, but I just had this drive and this love of our people and love of knowledge, man. And that's what I see. It's in good hands. I see Rich doing his thing. I see Dot still doing it. So it's still a continuum of it, man. It's just a lot of the smoke and mirrors, and it's clouded by a lot of other things, man. But the reality is the elevation of our consciousness and our awareness, man.
Rich, I want to add on to that really quick.
Yes, sir.
I was, like he said, I was working at Four Corners. I started, this is my 30th year in the conscious community. I came in 96 under Azariah. And what happened was there, I went to, of course, I was going to the Dempsey. I remember Shabazz and
Big Man?
No, sa.neter buying tapes from Azariah. I didn't know who they were, but they were getting his tapes in front of the Dempsey, and then they would go to their different parts to do their thing. And then I gave my very first lecture with Henry D. Bernardo in 99, I believe it was, at Julia Richmond. I just, was into this information, and Big Man or Azariah filmed it for me. I wish I could get my hands on that one. And then we had the Gathering of the Masters, and it seemed to kind of die down. I think the elders had said enough is enough. And then that's when Chris had the idea of bringing, Phil Valentine in. And I was already at Four Corners with Blue Pill. Shout out to Blue Pill. And Blue Pill said, well, I know Dot. And so Blue Pill became the plug to the plug. And then we connected. And from there, this thing shifted a bit. And we had our uptown and we had our downtown. Like you said, downtown was more metaphysical. Uptown was more militant. And that was sa.neter's stand. But the people began to dictate what this was going to be about. And one thing I'll say about sa.neter, when it came to labeling, promoting, and bullhorning this information to the world. See, Shabazz is a little bit more reserved. Like, if you want this information, I met Shabazz. Sa.neter was bullhorning. He started putting labels on his stuff, and he changed from a marketing standpoint what this became, and it opened the world up like we had never seen before. So kudos to these brothers, Chris, Shabazz, sa.neter, for doing what they did and bringing this information forward. And here we are.
Yes, thank you for that, Doc, for bringing that out. That's what's up.
Indeed. You know what I want to touch on, an important part of consciousness, and Red, I didn't forget you want to talk about the A.A. Rashid and the youth. So right after this, I definitely want you to touch on that, my brother. But just one thing real quick, Red, that I wanted to bring up, a dynamic in consciousness that I want to bring up. And I said earlier, I want to use women as an example. So there's this thing that happens where they be like, we all heard good girls turn bad. When good girls turn bad, it's a girl. She might be a church girl. She might have been raised by a dad and a mom or whatever. And she got effed over so much by men that she's like, man, F all these niggas, da-da-da-da. She didn't get what she might have been a victim of the Disney programming that some of y'all talk about. And it gets to the point where she's like, man, F this. I'm a do me, and I'm going to just be cutthroat or whatever. I've seen that happen. I've been in this for a while, even though I'm still a young OG, if you want to call it that, where I see conscious dudes or women going bad, where you have this idea in your mind that I'm very intelligent, I'm articulate, I'm spiritual, I have all this information, I'm going to change the world, I'm going to help the world, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Then the people don't receive you the way you think they're going to receive you, and you don't get the following. Stop, serious. Go right now, please. And you don't get the following that you think you're going to get. You don't get the numbers that you think you're going to get. And when you do a lecture, the people don't come out to see you the way they're going to see you. On top of that, the people might talk shit about you on YouTube, call you an agent. I mean, there's all types of variables. And because of that, I've seen a lot of brothers and sisters who had more of a good heart be like, man, fuck this. And they just go to the waysides. And they just, they start to have motives and different intentions when it comes to the information. What advice would you give? Because there's so many people. If you ask anybody in the world, what do you want to do for a living? I want to help people. What about when the people you want to help don't want to be helped and they attack you for helping them? Then what your emotional response is going to be. And that is something that we are not prepared for. What would be your advice to somebody coming up to tell them to prepare for that? It might not be everything you think it's cracked up to be. Go ahead, gentlemen.
I would say.
Go ahead, brother.
I would say.
Hold on. Hey, Red Pill. This is going to be real quick because this is going to start you off.
Oh, no.
Rich, play the video. Play the video.
What?
It's right down there.
Well,
It's going to start you off, Rich. I mean,
there was good and the evil.
All right, this is when AA just came home. He came to visit me for the first time on 125th. As you can see how chubby he is, he was still a little chubby. And here he goes. He meets Shabazz. And Shabazz is already in debate mode.
Evil and the good. We didn't have those levels of extremes. So we're talking about a prism from one extreme to another, and I don't think he's our opposite. I think he's a lower band. He's resonating on a lower frequency. He's something that we can actually get rid of if we rid ourselves of adding these extra connotations to him. The devil is one thing. The devil is a high spiritual concept. The devil is a high spiritual concept, and to give it to the white boys to denote or give him more significance than he truly.
That's it, Rich. That's all. I don't want to play the whole thing. I just wanted to set it off like that. A.A. Rashid was definitely a powerful soldier. I mean, a lot of the information was going over people's heads, brother. Go ahead, Red.
That was your you finished your point?
Yeah, no, it's longer than that. I just didn't want to take up too much time because him and Shabazz started getting into a debate.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, that's not me. It's another Shabazz.
Yeah, no, this Shabazz. The Shabazz, they know who I'm talking about. They know Shabazz out there.
Right. I forgot what the initial question was.
Listen, I'll refresh your memory.
Yeah,
I'll take it and bring it back to it.
Yeah.
The conscious community is not a endpoint. And that's part of the problem. The conscious community was a way station, so to speak, for all of us coming out of the different ideologies, and we needed a place to converge to sort of wipe our memory clean. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look right here, the last test is an eye test. We needed to wipe ourselves clean to understand just how deep this thing is, and that we were supposed to then go out into the world as we did. So once we converged, and once the conversion of the community started becoming like any other community with jealousy, hate, envy, and all that, then it was time to disperse that, because we were always there to find out what our mission and our purpose was. The ones who continued on their mission, they're still here. They're still on the mission to wake people up through all of the different phases that it's went through. And those who were here ego-based, because especially when YouTube came about, see, we were in collective communities and we studied and we spent 10 hours in a lecture with the elders. And then an additional 2 hours when the lecture was over, trading information, and you had to qualify and disqualify your information with all facts. The internet showed up and the brothers started downloading 50, 60, 70, interviews and started calling themselves Professor so-and-so, the Galactic of the Third Dimension, and they started taking on personas, and that's hip-hop. That's the Hollywood part of it. And when they weren't receiving the love that they thought they was going to receive, a lot of them shifted on to something else and something else and something else. The brothers you see here have been steady and on our course the whole time. So when all the smoke clears, the ones who are continuing to stand are the ones you can say through all the bullshit. Now, let me add this. Ain't none of us perfect. I was going to chop sa.neter head off a couple of times. But knocking me out of my interviews. Like he would get the interviews from Shabazz. He would cut out my intro and put his intro, this street warfare shit. This is the beat, right? And so I wanted to chop his head off of that. But one thing I knew he loved his people. I knew he was ready to fight for his people. All of those things began to emerge. But when all the smoke clears, if you still standing, because it ain't no money in this. The ones who made the money, they cashed out. This is about what your intent is and why you are here. And I've been in this piece 30 years, not including the book era where Shabazz was from, because we read all those books and this and that. So longer than that, Public Enemy, all the way back. But when we came together as a community, just like any other community, we warred with each other, we fought, we made up, we reconciled, we got older, we got wiser, and through all of that shit, I'm looking on the screen and I'm looking at the pioneers who started it. Woo!
Look, I'm glad you said that, Doc, because I was about to say it. I'm glad you said it. Go ahead.
I remember what I was going to say. Now, let's put everything into context, ladies and gentlemen. Every man on this stage right here, 20 to 30 years ago, was considered a kingmaker, right? Meaning that sa.neter held a lot of the cards in his deck as to who was going to be on the stage. And then he was the one who would tell you if you're hot or not, right? He held those cards in his hand. Shabazz also held those cards. Brother Chris held those cards because if they put you on a flyer, then you basically was on the way to becoming a made man. I want to say once again, I'm adding context because back in those days, getting on camera was considered to be something that every mortal could not do. Getting on camera was basically making it in this world that we belong to and whatnot. And then getting on that stage next to the master teachers was a rites of passage that everybody did not have access to. So what sa.neter had access to was he was able to bring people on the stage. He was a kingmaker, and this is even before the YouTube. So when Chris decided that he wanted to bring somebody on stage and put their name on a flyer, when Eye Open Productions, when your name appeared underneath their logo and whatnot, you was already stamped. The only thing that you had to do, your main job is you have to understand the assignment, get up there and deliver. I saw careers started on their stages. I saw careers started on sa.neter stages in Harlem in the back of Sutek's store and whatnot. When the camera was introduced, because there was always cameras, they was filming Malcolm and whatnot, but they even talked about the camera back in Malcolm's day, right? The double-edged sword of what the camera represented.
Absolutely.
And there was nobody, and even Brother Rich was king making in Brooklyn with the camera, right? He was able to bring people on stages, so it was a double whammy. You got your name on a flyer, which means that you are now stamped as the next. You're signed to a label. You're not even trying out anymore. That's the announcement that son is on Def Jam or he's on Death Row or something. And then when they put you on film, and you get that time, you get your trailer, and then you get that time to shine for an hour or 30 minutes. Chef's kiss. Some people did not know how to take that type of attention.
Yes.
That nobody went to school to prepare for that. Some of us were literally out there giving like Hollywood level type of roles and shit, but nobody necessarily prepared for that. The amount of attention that came when the YouTube era came, then the amount of attention that came with all of these apps. We just talking one app, then it exploded to like 5 or 6. Then it just began to grow so much to where we are right now in 2026. Consciousness is literally the new black. Like if you're not dropping knowledge, you're corny now. You feel me? And we don't come from that era. We came from the era where every man who got up here earlier said that their initial wish, their initial intention was to make this shit not corny. So it's mission accomplished. I need the Vindicator tattoo on the side like Nipsey had the prolific. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the intentions that we put forward have come to fruition, and there's so many legends now that our network is our net worth. So many of us on this panel are literally worth billions of dollars. We might not see that, might realize that, but we are kingmakers, Know the Ledge, Black Magic, 363 Empire, I Open Up Production, Urban X TV, and we can name many others and whatnot. They have to take their rightful seat in Black history, because this to me is the greatest story never told.
I remember
sa.neter, real quick, because I want to ask you a question real quick. This question is specifically to sa.neter real quick, then we can move on with the panel. But because of what Red said with the kingmaker and everything, I remember this was like last year. I remember last year, right? Brother Sharif, who's I'm hearing feedback. I remember Brother Sharif Bey. Shout out to Brother Sharif Bey, was on my show, and Sharif Bey was telling the people, he was like, yo, Brother Rich is a kingmaker. And then I remember talking to my queen after it was either after the show or the next day, and she was like, yo, that's a big title. She was like, that's a big title for somebody to call you. He's not even calling you a king, he's calling you a kingmaker. And I remember telling her, I said, yo, I learned that from sa.neter. Like, I seen sa.neter be that. And so the question I want to ask, because I witnessed sa.neter, like, say this is a movie, sa.neter has like such a huge chapter in this movie because of all the drama and everything that came with him. If this is a movie, sa.neter takes up a huge part of the movie with what his story by itself, if we want to be honest, right? And what I've always been curious about, and what people have been curious about, Sa, is that with the power that you had, everything that transpired, and you was like on top of the conscious world. I remember a huge turning point in consciousness. I mean, humongous, was when Tariq Nasheed released Hidden Colors. And oh shit, everything changed. Everybody knew about certain thing, and everybody that was in there was on your couch or was interviewed by you. So everybody was like, people were a little mad, people were happy for the brother, but they was like, why didn't sa.neter do this documentary? So what I want to ask you in front of the world was, shout out to Tariq Nasheed, he changed the world with Hidden Colors, but why didn't sa.neter never produce hit a Hidden Colors or a documentary like that?
Well, that's deep. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. At that time, I really didn't care about that. All I cared about was going outside every day, you know, trying to raise the level of consciousness up of our people. And I want to say this too. Every one of us that's up here are kingmakers. Let me say that. Red Pill is a kingmaker. I still see people talking about Red Pill, asking me, yo, how's Red Pill? We're Red Pill. Black Dot is a goddamn kingmaker. Brother Shabazz is a kingmaker. And like you said, brother Chris was mainly in the background, doing a lot of work in the background. So like Black Dot said, a lot of people don't really see Chris. But behind the scene, Chris was bringing in the heavy hitters. Make sure I got to say that. And so at that time, I didn't care about that, Rich. And shout out to Tariq Nasheed, because Tariq Nasheed gave me a call. And you probably don't know this, Rich, but Tariq would give me a call and ask me, who can he get? And I was putting them down with Brother Herman Smalls. I even called Dr. Ma'at. So that's why you see Dr. Ma'at on this channel. I even told him about Brother Polite at that time. Before all this craziness happened, that's why you would see Polite on this channel. I told him about a lot of stuff. So Tariq Nasheed definitely gave me props for that. He didn't give me no money, but he gave me props. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Let me tell you something.
But goddamn, he hit me up calling me.
Yes, sir. Yes, Shabazz.
Me and sa.neter had a definite conversation about this.
Yeah.
While it was being made.
And
we knew, because Bobby Hemitt, they called Bobby Hemitt, and Bobby Hemitt called me and asked me, did I know who Tariq Nasheed was? I said, I don't know the guy. He called himself something else back then. But Bobby said, yeah, they want me to. He said, man, I don't know. I don't think I want to do no a documentary like that. Bobby said out his mouth, you and sa.neter should do a documentary like that. And I said, Bobby, I don't know. And I stepped to sa.neter, and sa.neter said, man, you know, we could have been did that, but nah, that's not what I want to do. And I kind of felt him too, because you had to deal with all them personalities. All of them wanted money, you know.
Right.
It was wild. But and getting back to that, you said being a kingmaker, and you talked about A. Rashid. I'm gonna have to talk about a few other people, man. Lord Graceful Malik. Yes. One. Tafiru Azar.
Aline
Bay. Brother Roswell.
Panic.
Oh, okay. That's a whole nother section.
Oh, man.
Panic is a whole nother section. And you know, me and sa.neter would try our best to cultivate and help these brothers along with what they were doing, because me and sa.neter had this keen eye and an ear. And I'd be like, Panic used to like to sit and read. And I told him, stop that. They want to see you, man. Bring yourself out. I don't, you know, I'm not saying that I'm responsible for him, but I helped him along the way. I know sa.neter had Dr. Lamar. He had a lot of people that that people will not remember that came and went. I remember when Young Pharaoh, all of them, sa.neter was very important in bringing a lot of the Cyrus Seti. A lot of these people would never have been heard about if it wasn't for sa.neter, man. I mean, you know.
Who? Yo, Shabazz, who introduced Dr. Umar to the world? Was it you, son? Because I know
it was sa.neter and me. We both did. Sa.neter did them first. sa.neter did them first. But let me tell you something. I brought him in more times, though. But him and sa.neter had a little falling out of some foolishness, and I said, man, knock that up. But he's out there now. I spoke to Umar recently, but, you know, he's dealing with what he's dealing with. I don't know. sa.neter, you got to see, you know, what you want to do with that. I'm going to just see that.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I also brought Jabari to Tariq Nasheed.
That's right.
Jabari on there too. So I brought a lot of people to Tariq Nasheed, because he'll hit me up and say, Saul, who you got for this? I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But you know, people don't know that. That's in the background.
I know.
Let me add this.
It would have been a little nice if the brother would say, yo, Saul, here, that's for you. A little donation. But you know, I'm cool with it. I'm all right with it. And one more thing. I remember hold on, Doc, I'm gonna pass you the mic. I remember when me and Eye Opener, House of Consciousness and Eye Opener, we had a fallout. right? But not too deep where we couldn't come back together. We had a blowout, and Panic was on your team, Shabazz.
Yes.
I'm outside teaching one Saturday. The streets is jammed. I got on my militant gear. Panic. I don't know if you was out there, Red Pill, because I see you laughing.
I remember this story, son.
I remember it very well.
I know where you're going.
So Panic comes by, and he see me teaching. And he just stood there. Shout out, rest in peace to our brother Panic. He just stood there because me and him, we made up after all of that. You know, I even tried to bring him on after that. So he started getting the water and started doing some crazy stuff. And like, you know, he was trying to put a root on me. You know what I'm saying? And that was crazy. I was like, nigga, I don't give a damn about none of that. I don't believe in none of that, nigga. I don't believe in none of that. I was going there because I had the bullhorn. You know, that's what I wanted to say on that one right there.
For the record, Panic
at that time. That was when you and Shabazz had a fallout. I remember that. I remember you telling me that, son. But guys,
I'm gonna bring up the title real quick.
Shout out to Shabazz because he was always a brother. He would always call me and be like, "Yo, son, we need to talk. We need to sit down and talk. And we need to go out and have lunch." Remember, we would go out.
I do.
I want to bring up a title, right?
Yeah, right.
It's called The Anatomy of Phil Valentine, Volume 1, 2, and 3. It was one of those 3-packs. There was like 3.5 hours. I remember watching that in 2005 in Brooklyn in the projects, right around the time of my 30th. I was having a midlife crisis, and I popped that DVD, and then Phil Valentine was being interviewed by sa.neter. And this was the first time that I even heard of sa.neter, because prior to that, I was getting my work from Shabazz. So people were shipping boxes of DVDs to me in Miami, right? This became an underground thing. And then when I heard the name sa.neter, Phil Valentine said, from now on, I'm going to be dealing with this brother's productions. Remember, we're talking back in those days, it's like Netflix and Blockbuster. These are almost like libraries of Alexandria. You know what I mean? Like, think about it like that, family. That these are powerhouses of information, dissemination, distribution, and new titles. They are living and walking, quote unquote, like libraries. So Phil gave me the impetus to go uptown. Once again, there's a borough thing going on in New York City where Brooklyn people don't necessarily go uptown like that. That's why with Rich setting up in Brooklyn was very kind of like, it was an anomaly in the early 2000s, because that wasn't something that was regular. Nobody was doing that and whatnot. So then even when I went uptown, I was in Harlem in 2005, and I'm a Brooklyn dude, but there was Brooklyn street dudes up there. So that made me feel like, all right, I'm at least I'm amongst the wolves and everything. We good. And sa.neter welcomed me with open arms. Dr. Jack Felder and Nova Felder, they have to be mentioned, because even before Sutek came out there, after he closed down Soul Brothers, it was always Sutek and them out there.
Is Sutek still there?
I mean, it was always the Felders and whatnot.
Yo.
Yeah, there you go. There goes Sutek.
What's up?
Peace.
Sutek, there's a delay. Can you hear me, Sutek?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Like a bad delay, but we hear you.
All right.
And so we can't forget.
Let me add this real quick, sa.neter.
Yes, sir. Yes.
When he's talking about Tariq Nasheed, right? I would much rather have an old dusty cassette tape, VHS tape of 10 hours information than his DVD. His DVD was a compilation of snippets of 20 years of work that came before him. Because you even called me and said he wanted me on one of his DVDs. I wasn't with all of
that. I remember that. See, I even tried to
get. And so if you have those old VHS tapes, shit, I got cassette tapes. All right. The first time I heard Bobby Hemitt was on a cassette tape. And so if you have that, that's the real source of that information. So Tariq Nasheed just put a gumbo together to give people snapshots We don't have to put out that kind of information because we lived it. However, if we are going to do a documentary from our standpoint forward, I'm with that as well, and I would participate heavy. Shout out Sutek. I gave my first book signing in his bookstore in 2005, and he let me open up for Professor Griff in his bookstore in 2005 because Griff walked by sa.neter's table, and he was on his way to Japan, and he was like, yo, hit me with something, and he hit him with the tape that Shabazz not tricked me into doing. Shabazz was on my case. Doc, you need to get in front of this camera and do this hip-hop thing. So we wound up doing a 7-hour lecture called The Chronicles. And Griff saw that, and the rest is history. So big up to Sutek.
Let me
doors.
Let me ask
something.
Okay, Chris. Yes, sir.
Let me say this before the conversation goes and the water flows fluidic.
Yes, sir.
Shabazz gave a lineup of Eye Opener Productions, and I have to mention Brother Rich. There's another Brother Rich.
Another,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Brother Rich is on the conscious circuit. You know what I'm saying? And I got to give a shout out to Brother Rich. You know, 5 Bloodlines of Hip Hop with Black Dot.
Yeah.
That was a monumental. That was a historical lecture that's gonna go through the annals of time. You know what I'm saying? Like that lecture was the end all be all as far as hip hop was concerned. So I got to shout out Brother Rich, you know, with Tafira, with Roswell, with Panic, and everybody else that Shabazz, you know, Shabazz put that team together.
Oh, yeah.
I give Shabazz was the person that brought everybody under the Eye Opener umbrella at that time. And I got to give him the shout out because a lot of people forget about Brother Rich, the other Brother Rich.
The other Brother Rich. Shout out to the other Brother Rich. And I just want people to understand why I might be great at what I do. Y'all got to understand, I came up under, a lot of times you was either cool with Shabazz or you was either cool with sa.neter. I'm super cool with both of them. And me and sa.neter, we like brothers, right? And then I go to Brooklyn and I end up getting cool with Shabazz. At first we like, I guess Shabazz didn't know how I would be or whatever. Once we really started talking, me and Shabazz is cool like a mother effer.
Yes.
Since 2010 or whatever it was back then. So he let me film. I was his cameraman. I'm young. I'm in my 20s. I'm Shabazz's cameraman when he reopened LIU, and I'm filming all the lectures. sa.neter's let me sell his tapes. sa.neter's let me chill with him, do his thing. I'm watching sa.neter do the debates with Ray Hagans. So I'm getting game from the two titans in the conscious community. So what you see from me is not a mistake. It's not a coincidence. It's not luck. This shit is destiny. My soul aligned me with sa.neter, aligned me with Shabazz, and caused me to be who I am today. So once again, I want to give a big shout out to Brother Shabazz and Brother sa.neter because I seen them the most out of everybody. I seen them the most coming up. So shout out to those two brothers. I want to ask this question to everybody. With everything that we just said, what message would you teach the younger generation? We heard about sa.neter and Eye Opener having a discrepancy. We heard about such and such and such and such have a discrepancy. We heard about Bobby and Phil Valentine having a little falling out. We heard about all of that. What message would you teach the youth about ego and conflict resolution that maybe y'all didn't learn right away, but it took 10, 20, maybe 30 years to learn? What we going to teach the youth about ego and conflict resolution that maybe y'all didn't know in 2003 or 2005?
That is an amazing question.
Thank you.
Anybody want to answer that?
Go ahead, Doc.
Okay, listen. As you mentioned, when we're young and we're men in particular, we're ego-driven, we're territorial. When you get older, you sit back and realize it would have been easier ways to resolve all kind of conflicts. But at the end of the day, young people are going to have to understand that they have to subside the ego to a point where they're in a position to truly, if they're about helping their people, because there's service to self and then there's service to others. And so when we're talking about service to others, there are sacrifices on the ego side There are money sacrifices because people don't know. For years, we wasn't making no money. We kept our price at $10 when everybody else went up to 20 and 30 because we all had jobs. And so it enabled us to do that. And you know what I mean? So when you get older, you get wiser, you appreciate all the things that you went through because they made you who you are. Young people listening to trap and hip hop and all of this shit hop. Now, it ain't hip hop. What's going on now? They need conflict resolution on a grander scale because at minimum, at least we had the ability to sharpen each other's sword with the knowledge that we possessed. The only things these guys are doing is pulling out and ending people's lives. And so young people have to get into a reserve spot and look at things in a grander scale. But it took us a while as men to become wise to understand that.
Excellent. Yeah.
I would say to not react to any type of conflict and do something that you can't undo. You know, egos will flare. You know, jealousy, envy, and all of the four evils will show its face, especially when you're dealing with anything dealing with hierarchy. You know, this still is the Game of Thrones at the end of the day. It's still, people are still climbing ladders. They still out there doing what they do. But, you know, you want to keep in mind that time will heal all of these conflicts. Conflict resolution is just staying out of the way of people that you might be in conflict with until time heals whatever that situation may be. And you have to stay focused on what your mission is, stay focused on what it is that you have to do. Do not incur karma by trying to stop anybody or hate on anyone or throw anybody off of their path and whatnot. Just begin to focus on you. Enough people will cross you to convince you that you need to focus on yourself and that you need to build on yourself and that you can't carry nobody and whatnot. So it's like, if you're on mission, you didn't get into this mission to be holding hands with the next man any damn way. When you got that download and when you got that mission as to what your path is, you're going to meet a lot of people on the way that's going to help you in this hero journey, but everybody might not cross that finish line with you. And it's okay, because once you cross that finish line, you will look back and wave at all of those people that you was basically in that race with and whatnot, because I've been around long enough to see people cry and hurting when their so-called enemy or somebody that they didn't get along with, they can't talk to that person anymore, or they can't have a last word with that person and whatnot. And I've also seen people 30 years later, you know, sit down, eating together, laughing shit off, who were like mortal foes and whatnot. So once again, you realize it's not even worth it. Don't do nothing that you can't undo, though, in that moment, even when you may be flaring up, because at the end of the day, we have a common op. We have a common foe. We all signed up to this bitch because we identified that we had a common foe. So if you put hands and paws on your foe and whatnot, then maybe you could come back and talk to us. But do not begin to deflect. Don't start doing shit like you want to do infighting and whatnot because you're scared to set it off on the common foe. You know what I mean? And you want to light fires. Focus on what you came here for.
Let me ask y'all, do all of y'all brothers up here believe in astrology signs or what? Because some people say that's spooky and stuff like that. Yeah. So once I learned what my sign was, an Aries, and then I started reading it, and then it would say fire sign, fire starter, this, that here. And I was like, damn, that does fit me to a T. And that right there is what gets me into a lot of trouble, because I had to learn. I got it now, though. I finally learned it. And it would get me into trouble because I didn't give a damn who I would start fights with. I start fights with Black Dot, Brother Shabazz, me and Red Pill went at it, me and Brother Sutek went at it a few times. But at the end of the day, I love all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love my brothers, man. That's what counts. When you make sure you don't cross that goddamn line. Red Pill said it better than I would have said it, because he took the words right out of my mouth. It's going to happen as a young kid growing up. You're going to have fights. You're going to have arguments. That's how you grow. just don't cross the line where you can't mend that relationship back. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say to Brother Sutek, we can't talk about the conscious community without mentioning my good brother Sutek.
That's right.
We will bring all the underground lectures through the back door, right in the back of the store. When nobody wouldn't want that information in there, Sutek opened up the doors. We were bringing the Bobby Hemmings, Phil Valentine's, you name it, the Black Dots. Brother Shabazz would come through sometime, and we would have that house rocking. So, and I remember another time, like, we wasn't just out there trying to make money. We was out there giving away stuff too. We had, it was back to school. Me and Sutek came together and said, you know what? On 125th Street, let's get some tables and line the tables up. Man, Sutek brought out damn near every computer that was in his store.
I remember.
Gave the computers to the kids. That's when the big computers was out. You know what I'm saying? Not these ones we dealing with now. But the other ones, he came out and gave that to the family, and the people appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make sure we throw Sutek up in there. Just like our brother Chris, Sutek was behind the scene too. That's why we would bring the people right to the store. You know, and would charge nobody. Bring them in. We got it. You know, we would probably throw him a donation or something here, but come on in, Sutek. That's what he would tell us. Go ahead, brother.
Oh yeah, can y'all hear me?
Oh yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, I just want to piggyback on what Red Pill was saying.
Veggie back.
And okay, yeah, veggie back, vegan back. So my take on that is we have to realize that the mission is bigger than all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
The mission is bigger than all of us. We got to have keep our eye on the prize. You know, there's many different paths to get to the end result. And you know, when we disagree, we just got to learn to disagree without bringing without being disagreeable. You know, like sa.neter said, me and sa.neter used to go at it. We wouldn't speak for days. You understand? But we would set up right next to each other. And if he couldn't hold it down, I would hold him down. Me and him mad as motherfucker at each other.
Right.
But I could walk off and he'd collect my money and give me my money. He'd walk off or he wasn't able to come out. I would set his shit up and hold him down, even though me and him wasn't speaking. We might not speak for a week or two, but we'd hold each other down. You know what I'm saying? Red Pill always want to come out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when all the spots is gone. And what would I do? I would move my shit over on my table and let him set up on my table. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my only regret with the whole consciousness thing that we had going on, because it wasn't just New York consciousness, this shit was worldwide.
Right.
We went. I missed a lot of what y'all said earlier, so I may be saying stuff y'all already said, but we were worldwide. And my only regret is that we weren't more organized. If we were more organized, man, just imagine. Just imagine if we were more organized, where would we be now? I mean, we set it off. We really set it off. And I remember sa.neter came in my store. First time he came in my store, he said, yo, man, I want to bring, I think you brought Phil Valentine the first time. And I had never heard of these brothers. I go back to like the slave theater, because I came up under Sekou. I grew up with Sekou, you know, and he used to put me on with a lot of stuff. But back then, you had to come outside to get this knowledge. You couldn't sit in the house and get the knowledge. You know, you couldn't be like the Monday morning quarterback. You had to come outside, get this knowledge, and participate. I kind of think YouTube and all of that, and y'all have said it before, brought a lot of bad characters into it.
Yep.
You know, and I think if we were more organized, we would have been able to vet it. You know, we would be able to vet, and a lot of our reputations might not have taken the hit that some of us took. You know, because you know how we are. Because you know, we trying to one up one another all the time. But if we were organized, and it's not too late. It's not too late. We could get this thing organized. You know, here we are right here. You know, I see Red Pill and Blue Pill still knocking shit down, got people climbing mountains and shit. You know, sa.neter still doing his thing, Rich doing his thing, Black Dot got his thing going on. I mean, the shit is just beautiful, man. You know, and I'm glad I was able to play a part in that with my store. You know, out on the block, helping sa.neter get his thing going off. You know, it's just a beautiful thing, man. But
can you hear me?
We still got a long way to go.
Sutek can even hear me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you.
I hear you.
I want to say something.
Yeah, Shabazz,
he mentioned the name Sekou.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say this. I know everybody here knows who Sekou was. Sekou is a very dear brother of mine. Sekou, we both were we were in the nation of gods and earth, Sekou. And Sekou is a very stout historian, and he taught me so much, man. We used to sell books together. I remember his brother. I remember all of these guys. We used to vend together every last Sunday of the month at the rally of the gods. And Sekou was so brilliant, man. I have a young son now. I named my son Sekou after him. That's how much esteem I hold that brother in. You know, that brother's an ancestor now. A beautiful soul, a brilliant brother, a gentleman. You know, wonderful guy, man. Also, speaking about conflict resolution and all that, Bobby Hemitt used to tell me this, man, and I didn't get it until later. He says, the key to this shit, he used to always say the key to this whole thing and keeping stability is take what you're doing deadly serious, but never take yourself too serious. He said, allow shit to roll over your shoulder, laugh at yourself, laugh at others, because Bobby was always a comedic in his approach, but he really embodied that. He literally, Bobby was what you see is what you get. You know, he was the real deal of that. And he used to always tell me, Shabazz, don't even pay that shit no mind, man. Take what you're doing deadly serious, but don't take yourself too serious. And hopefully, I know it was hard for me to learn that. It was in my head for all them years and I didn't get it, but I got it. And you know, and that allowed me to forgive myself and forgive others, especially my people. We got these police walking around here, and these people, all these other Epsteins walking around here. But let a brother step on your shoe, and we're willing to go. We're gonna go to hell. We're gonna stab them and shoot them, go in their face and their mug. And I know I'm guilty of that. You know, I will literally let bygones be bygones of some real serious shit. But when it comes to my brothers, I didn't have patience. But now
and one more thing, Brother Shabazz, that to add on to. One thing that Bobby Hemitt loved was reading books.
Oh yeah.
And you get the best out of Bobby Hemitt when he stay at your house. So when I see Brother Shabazz letting Bobby stay with him, I was like, oh shit, I got to bring Bobby up. Hell with putting him in the hotel. Your ass gonna stay here, Bobby. I'm pulling out the couch.
Yo, me and Bobby would stay up.
You get the best out of
48 hours.
Yeah.
And we would argue and talk shit and debate.
Right.
And, we would eat all night long. I remember, oh man, Bobby can eat. Bobby can. You know, Rich, he told me, he said, your wife made all this damn food. He called me from the house. He said,
so good.
He said, Shabazz, you should see this damn spread. I said, I know, they're gonna take care of you. Man. We used to eat at my house, go to my mother's house and eat. My mother loved him. You know, Bobby is good. And for the record, Bobby's all right. He's doing well. He just wants to stay out of the public eye. And I respect that.
Brother Rich, Play the video. Got to take it to the street.
Okay.
You got to come in with
Bobby. Speaking of Bobby, this gonna be a good throwback, y'all. This gonna be a good one, y'all. Let's go.
The form of the mind control is still going on. So that's what this is about. You see what I'm saying? This is what this is about. It's just like they tearing down my.
sa.neter, give the people some context. So this is in front of your what? Where is this at?
Yeah, this is right in front of the mark where I be at, where I set my table up. And I was about to close, but I said, damn, Bobby coming over. This is the day I let him stay at my house a few times. He come, I let him come through here and start talking to the people, bring them out to the people, let them know we got something going on for tomorrow. And then they will come out.
So this is in Harlem, New York, the day before. This is a brand new people. This is in Harlem, New York, a day before a big lecture. sa.neter used to sell DVDs outside at this location in Harlem, New York, and Bobby came and visited his outside store. sa.neter was a street vendor, so Bobby Hemitt came and visited him and spoke outside. Just to give y'all some context right here.
Michael Jackson, but PBS last week ran a special called Elvis Forever in the middle of Black History Month. In the middle of Black History Month, Elvis Forever. See what I'm saying? So they know what they're doing psychologically. If they can get the minds of the people, they don't have to worry about no other shit like that. So this is psychological stuff. Back to the science, it's the same thing. If you always seeing him coming up with these answers, you think that it's synonymous to him. You know what I'm saying? You think that it's synonymous to him. I remember back in the 70s, listening to some big band music and was liking it. And was ashamed of liking it because I thought it was white. And I didn't know that Duke Ellington, you see what I'm saying, Count Basie, Fletcher Henderson and all those created this shit. You see, but if they can take it away from you, you don't know. That's what they're doing now. Jazz now is a white format. They got 37 new jazz women singers out and all of them are white. So 20 years from now, you're gonna think that the jazz singer was fundamentally white. That's the way they can take these things from you. You see them? That's the way they can take these things from you. They do it all the time. They got a street down in Philadelphia called the main street in Philly. It's real popular. Side where there ain't no water. If you go to like Amityville, Huntington, and little places where they do have black people, and made way for this down at first. In the 80s, they had a real hard time. It was just a form.
Hey, that's good, Rich. I want y'all to know that all of these videos will be uploaded on my channel because they too long. So I'm gonna throw up some of the classics, Rich. And yeah, I got Phil Valentine too when he's talking to Red Pill. I don't know if Red Pill remember, but Phil came to 125th as well. And you remember that, Red Pill?
Throw that up.
I am. We're gonna play it before the night is ends.
Let me add this real quick, Rich.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got that.
Last year, 2 years ago,
yes, sir,
you gave one of the greatest events that the conscious community has ever seen.
Yeah.
I was at one of the original gathering of the masters with Khalid Muhammad, and Bobby was going at it. And
that's one of my questions. That's one of my questions. But go ahead, Doc. But go ahead.
Right? I was there in the flesh.
Yeah.
You had Dr. Africa, Conscious Rasta, Henry D. Bernardo, Leola Africa.
That's right.
All of the masters.
Yes, sir.
And they were there, and it was really about the masters. They were the teachers, but Phil would always say the real masters are the students, the ones who are here gaining this lesson. Your gathering of the masters was so powerful because it was honoring all that we had been through over the last 30 years. And I know I told you before, I wrote it in my book, how magical that event was. And to be a vendor and get more love than some of the speakers were. Your vendors were more famous and more iconic than the people on the stage. And so many people came up to me and they just kept saying, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for what you and your son do on your podcast. Thank you for doing this. And we were at a point where, we get a little driving now and then. it reinvigorated our purpose because people all over the world, thanks to Shabazz and sa.neter, people forget these VHS tapes were going all over the world. It was like being a platinum artist. And if we didn't stamp you, you couldn't get on. Shout out to Brother Chris for, I can say it now, he's retired, smuggling some workout of A.A. Rashid, his teaching, and allowing us to prep the people for when he came home. He came home and hit the stage and was out of here. But this Gathering of the Masters event, brother, was the most amazing event I had ever attended in my adult life.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for it.
When I saw that, hey, Black Dot, when I saw that, I was like, damn, pass the torch.
That's right. Hey, yo, Rick.
Yo, let me say this.
Damn, I was
let me say this. When A.A. Rashid first came home, he did his first lecture in my store.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Rich.
That's when he
did his first lecture in the store.
You did your thing in Atlanta. We gonna do another one in New York at LIU, man.
We got to.
All
we
right.
got to. We
and I got more spaces at LIU than a lot of people.
That'll be fire.
Yo. Fun fact. Let me tell y'all a fun fact. Fun fact. When A.A. Rashid first came home, and me and A.A., that's my brother. He oh man, I'm talking about you got friends. That's my brother. We talk. We know, like, you know, we brothers. Let me just put it that way. We brothers. And when he first came home, me and A.A. almost got into a fight. Then this is why I'm talking about conflict resolution and the importance of it. Me and A.A. had a conversation about me selling his videos. I forgot exactly what it was about. I don't know if it was I was selling it or maybe I wasn't and he wanted me to sell it. I forgot exactly what it was, but we almost got into it. And I remember I didn't back down and he was like, yo, I fucks with you. It was like, yo, I fucks with you.
He ain't doing that Brooklyn shit.
He was like, yo, I just came home. It was like, yo, I just came home. I remember I just decided to act crazy that day. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, yo, I fucks with you. And me and him, we've been cool ever since that day. And shout out to AA, man. Like I said, the conflict resolution, you go through so much in the business world or doing business with folks that's your friends or folks that's your family. And it's important for us to figure out how to work with each other. And if things don't go the right way the first time, it's not the end of the world. And like sa.neter said, if you don't cross that line, you don't talk about my mama. This line's for me. You don't talk about my mama or my children. They shit like that. Don't bring my girl into the equation. Then we could continue to do business. Anything else, nigga, you call me a bitch ass nigga, or all of that, I'll let it fly. But yeah, conflict resolution is important. I'm glad me and A.A. Rashid was able to get past. And this was very early. This was like as soon as he came home, because he's from Brooklyn. So he wanted to like run that, you know, he was like, you know, like, yo, what's good? This is my DVD, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to my brother. He just sent me he wrote a PDF for me, an ebook for me on tobacco. So shout out to that brother right there.
People sleep on A.A. Rashid. That's a mad feature right there, boy. If you sit down and just listen to him.
You know, and let me go in this direction. I told A.A. Rashid the last time he was on here, and I told A.A. Rashid he's a genius, right? And I said, yo, you a genius. You remind me of Kanye West. And I feel as though mental, and I'm not trying to come at the brother A.A. Rashid, but mental stability has been an issue with a lot of people, not with A.A. as much as other people, but I feel as though A.A., he be on some shit sometime, and he know that, and he's like, yo, Rich, you know, whatever. Like, he's so unapologetic about who he is, and I love that, and that's why Red Pill said earlier he was able to get the youth within the movement. But I want to ask y'all, what advice would you give about mental stability? Because a lot of our geniuses are crazy. A lot of our geniuses have gone to the other spectrum. They have taken things that have taken them places. They just don't give a fuck about the police or the world or life. That's why they're able to be so revolutionary. When you find somebody that anybody that obeys every rule, stay away from that nigga. If you obey every rule society makes, there was once a rule that there used to be slaves. That means that you would obey that rule as well. That means anything the government tells you, you will do. COVID, whatever. So when I see people that's a little bit off the, whatever, it's like, okay, I could deal with this. I could deal with that or whatever. But what advice would you give to family to not go too far off in terms of mental stability in a world where normalness is the real crazy? To be obedient to the system, to pay pedophiles tax money, to do everything to get your child the Jabberwocky. That's crazy. So we're trying to be normal in a world that's crazy. So the crazy people. But what advice would you give the brothers? What advice would you give the brothers that for mental stability in a world that we live in, considering everything I just said?
Go ahead, Red.
Know the ledge, don't fall off, you know what I mean? Let go, but don't get lost. Always have a way to come back home, have some type of foundation. You have to be able to land back into reality and whatnot. So many people have gone the route of 730 and whatnot. They've gone the route of getting that juice. They've gone the route of getting behavior modification, meaning that you could get put into a mental institution, and then they could put you on this type of medicine like Thorazine and whatnot, and they could start messing with your mind through lobotomies and things of that nature, like they did to Huey P. And then you can't necessarily come back from that. Similar to what they did with Kanye, hit him with the monkey juice. So you don't want to have outbursts and get a 730 evaluation. You don't want to put yourself out there by being very loud in public, by being aggressive, lashing out. There's phases in consciousness where people get upset, and they get angry and whatnot. But you can't be like the guy in the airport asking people, why y'all not upset about the Epstein files? Don't wear that on your sleeves. Don't allow it.
I ain't even mad at homie.
Huh?
I ain't even mad at homie, man.
Yeah, I'm not either. I just wouldn't put myself as a target like that.
Right.
Because once again, you don't want you would rather something happen to you with bodily harm than you would anybody mess with your mentals. You don't want your mentals messed with. Right. You don't want your mentals to be you don't want no type of psychotropics, no type of chemicals, none of that. You know what I mean? So I would say, like Rich was saying, normal is the new unnormal, and find your tribe, right? So you could be as crazy as you want to be amongst your tribe.
And I think that's excellently said. And I started this conversation by saying, coming up in the conscious community was like going to Marvel Universe. And so you had Azariah, Dr. Strange, you had Phil, a metaphysician, you had a master occultist in Bobby Hemitt, you had a Kabbalist, and the list goes on and on, Sister Myra. It was so much that your brain, I would go home and stare at the ceiling for hours at a time, because everything I thought I knew I didn't know anything. And so therefore, I've seen people, I've been in this for 30 years. I've seen people take the information so literal that they run out into the world wanting to share this information in a world that isn't, like Rich said, that's not normal. They crazy ones. And it can drive you crazy because people are not as receptive as you think they should be to this information. So the key to it, Rich, is you got to stay anchored in some bullshit. You got to keep the bullshit, everyday life, where it needs to be. Like Bobby said, don't take yourself too serious. Whatever your thing is that you into, but know and understand you are in this, but you're not of it. And because you're able to understand that, a lot of brothers and sisters couldn't. They took the manuals, the manifestos literally, and they ran out into the world trying to teach sleep people information that was so awakening that it drove them crazy. And the niggas is gonna continue to nigger on and on and on. And so don't take yourself so serious. Anchor yourself in some earthly bound shit. That's bullshit. Just so you can have a reference point, but know that your ability to mentally extend beyond all that is the only true superpower that you have. You know what I mean? And so that's how I would go about that. That's what's been working for me over 30 years or so.
All right, let's take it to the streets once again, Rich. I want to show when Red Pill and Blue Pill was just young bucks out there. They were young bucks.
Before you play that, I got a real life questions for you, brother. Like I said, you play such a huge. Strictly, can I ask you that real quick, Sal?
Ask me what?
Question. I want to ask you a question real quick. There's so much talk before we play this. There's so much talk about, because I'm talking about mental illness. There's been one of the most biggest figures to come out of consciousness within the last decade was young Pharaoh. And a lot of people said, I'm not following the brother, but a lot of people said something happened to the brother. Some people say it's the government. Some people say his ego got the best of him. Do you think that it's something that happens with a genius like young Pharaoh where his ego gets the best of him? Or do you think the government is deliberately attacking brothers like Pharaoh, or it may be Polite, or it may be or whoever is the next Dr. Umar Johnson? Do you what do you think? Is it something that
I don't like to spook stuff out. I could be wrong. I don't think it's the government trying to get to him, but I think it's the drugs that got to him. That's what I think. The sisters that he was messing with, them young girls. He even said it one time that he caught one of the sisters putting something in his drink. It's them sisters, them young girls that was out there messing with him. He even got the gun and shot up his baby mama house. Did you know that?
No, I don't.
He grabbed the pistol and went to his baby mama house and shot it up. Yeah, the dude is crazy. When I noticed that he was a sick mind, I brought him on my show one time, and he cursed out Jabari for no reason. Cursed him out, said, "I'm coming to get you, Saw." All this crazy. So I said, "Oh, this thing here is not wrapped too tight." So yeah, and one side of me feels sorry for him, and then I know I shouldn't, because he talked so much stuff about me when him and Seti got together. He thought he found him a gym, and then he started trashing my name, trashing me. You know, but I still feel a little bad for him because he had some potential. You know, that's real talk. The young brother did have some potential, and I really tried to bring that brother out. A lot of y'all know that. Y'all see me trying to bring him out.
Yeah, no, you didn't try. You bought him. The brother was huge, and I remember around 2020, his name was so big.
But when he got a hold, when him and Seti got hold to it, Seti didn't raise him right. He just let the boy go, and now him and Seti got into the beef. Next thing you know, he's gone, smoking weed all the time. I don't know what he's smoking. Smoking and popping pills and all that stuff.
Yeah, Sutek.
Well, to me, what happens to a lot of these brothers is, they can't handle power. They can't handle power.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Umar came out. Umar was on fire.
Right.
And Umar got power. He couldn't handle the power. That power went to his head. He couldn't handle the power. And I think with Pharaoh, he got in over his head. Like, you can have knowledge, extensive knowledge in an area, but then when you got power and start thinking you know everything, then you get intimidated by it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to let people down. You always want to have the right answer to everything. You know, instead of just saying, "Hey, that's not my area," you try to act like you know everything in that area. And I think that's what might have happened to Pharaoh. Polite, I think Polite was just clever. Polite was real clever. You understand? He had a mission. Like, Umar fell off into the power hype. Polite came in knowing exactly what he wanted to do, what he wanted to accomplish, and how he wanted to accomplish it. He was very, very clever. Umar was smart. I think when he came into the game, his heart was in it, but that power went to his head. And I think the same thing happened with Pharaoh. You know, that power went to his head, and he couldn't handle it.
I would light head too, though.
Sutek and sa.neter, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Give me an example of somebody who can handle power, so we can know somebody who did the right thing. Who was somebody?
You looking at it because I didn't care. I didn't care.
sa.neter. Look at red pill and blue pill. Red pill and blue. Yo, I was watching the video. Red pill and blue pill had like 400 niggas climbing Stone Mountain, following them. Motherfucking blue pill had the white robe on and shit. And he's standing up there. But you don't see them brothers you don't see them bugging out. You see them bugging out, tripping. You understand what I'm saying? Look, Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemitt, Professor Smalls, they all have power. They ain't trip out. Black Dot, power. You understand? You don't see them tripping out. You know, Umar couldn't handle the power. Polite was clever, and he got caught up. Power caught him up. You understand? Power caught him up.
And
yeah, he thought he could talk his way out of everything. He thought niggas would cover for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what happened with Polite. Polite could have been so much better if he was a straight arrow.
Hold on. When you talk about show you someone, you looking at him. I had power, bro. I didn't care about none of that. You know how many people would call me to be on their shows? And I'm talking about huge platforms. I would call somebody else. Tariq would come in, I would call somebody else. I didn't want to go on those shows. I didn't want to do none of that. I would let other people shine. Like even today, Tazariak will tell you, he would want me to come to him on one of the shows. I'd be like, nah, brother, I'm good. I brought Tazariak to Queen's Flip. I brought Professor Smalls to Queen's Flip. I didn't care. I went first, right? Because Queen's Flip wanted to interview me. So I went first, and then he called me up again, and I said, you know what? I want to bring somebody else through. I brought in Tazariak, and then I brought in Professor James Smalls. They'll tell you, my people here tell you, I was always allowing other people to shine. I didn't care about that.
Yo, that's why you had me moderate all your debates.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
You know, you had me. You know, yo, T, you know, Sutek, moderate this for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So let's go.
I would like to add on that. I like what Red Pill said about having a healthy foundation, a strong foundation is important. But you know, I practice something. I meditate. I facilitate meditation for people. You see, and I think that this is it too. You see that on my shirt? That's balance. That's balance and harmony. And I think we should all take the time to give self-care for ourselves and it's very important to cultivate and keep ourselves healthy, physically, mentally, and spiritually, man. Because this thing is not no joke, man. I've seen greater people than us get taken out of here, man. You know how many people clock out or punch out on drugs, on mental health things, on suicide, on murder, or homicide. The jails is full up of people, man, that just is clocked out, man. And some brilliant geniuses, man. Geniuses. So, you know, self-care, take moment in time to take care of ourselves, man. It sounds slow, it sounds old, but it's real. You know, I'm getting ready to help a sister celebrate her 100th birthday, man. You know, and she's a pillar in the Bed-Stuy community. You know what I'm saying? It's like all that, a lot of stuff is not important, man. What's really important is, you know, being good to yourself, good to your people, man. You know, that's important, man. Those things will keep you here, keep you strong, man. I'm into martial arts, and I'm into just cultivating and elevating myself, and that's it, man. And I think that's what saved me. I had been around a lot of situations I used to be Eddie Murphy's bodyguard. I was Denzel Washington's bodyguard. I had opportunities to travel the world and all this crazy stuff, man. I've had a storied life, man. And y'all are part of that. Y'all are so great, man. Y'all brothers and the sisters out there. There's nobody greater than us, man.
You know the Eye Opener production and sa.neter, we were two different. The Eye Opener was more spiritual. They had the spirituality popping. But when you come uptown, the HOK, we had the more militant stuff popping. And see, I didn't know it at the time, but the community needed both.
That's right.
They needed both. The balance. See, I know it now. I knew it back then too. I knew it as I'm coming up. I didn't just learn that, but I knew it as I was getting older. And I was like, damn, they needed both of this stuff. And I remember coming to Rich saying, yo, Rich, man, what I was saying to you, Rich, I was trying to get you into the militant.
Yeah, he was like, why buy so much Bobby? He was like, I used to buy Bobby. He was like, yo, why you buy so much Bobby Hemitt videos? He would try to give me the Khalid Muhammad videos.
Yeah,
Khalid Muhammad came at Bobby during the gathering. I think the gathering of Masters, right? So, but let me ask y'all this: a couple of more questions before we get out of here. I don't want to take too much of your time.
Nah, man, I gotta play this clip.
We about to hit the 2 hour. What clip? The
play the clip. Run the clip.
Let's run this clip real quick. Then after this clip, I want to get into how can the metaphysical movement and the Black Power movement coexist at the same time. Because of what we've seen what happened with Bobby and Khalid Muhammad.
The metaphysical movement is the Black Power movement.
It is it.
The Black Power movement is the metaphysical movement. That's what sa.neter just said.
Yeah.
You have to have them both.
Yeah, it's the balance.
That's what made them so dangerous.
You know what's crazy? Guess who keeps being the biggest? Guess who keeps blowing up? People who embody that. So guess who blows up? Young Pharaoh, the metaphysical movement, Black Power movement, Rashad Jamal, metaphysical movement, Black Power movement, Brother Polite, metaphysical movement, Black Power. Anybody who knows how to truly embody both becomes the spokesperson for the movement. Yeah. So if anybody wants to know, like, who's going to be next up, when you embody both, man, listen.
Run the clip.
Like they don't. Let me.
Yeah, but we gotta vet these. We gotta vet these niggas, cuz.
Yeah. Let me play this clip real quick.
Appreciate you and yours. T-Ball Report Live. We here 125th House of Consciousness, about to set the damn thing off. It's been a long time. Sorry we kept you. You know what I'm saying? Not only did I double up, we got 4 of the most powerful, prolific brothers on the planet right now, bringing not only prophecy, but everything that you need with your mind right. This is me, Brother P. Moore. Right here we got Brother Fillmore, the Red Pill. We got Brother here, Beats. A.A. Rashid. We got a seer around here somewhere. Right over there. Okay, on the jack right now. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna definitely get in where he fitted. But we're gonna set the thing off and talk about some very pressing issues that's prevalent. As we stand here, you know what I'm saying, building, we here on 125th, it's a Saturday. I believe it's September 29th, right across the street. They're waiting to arrive on the hill, Hillary Clinton, you know what I'm saying? They coming to Harlem to put on their show to eventually. Bill Riley is an enemy of Black America. He is a neocon. Why is he sitting down at Sylvia's with Al Sharpton? What are they talking about?
What did Bill Riley say?
He said, I was surprised that he said, I was surprised that people in Harlem are so civilized, making it seem like we was animals or whatever, that we were supposed to be in a restaurant screaming and throwing chicken bones at each other. He said, I was shocked that I was at Sylvia's and somebody said, hey motherfucker, I don't want my what he said? No, nobody was calling for some stupid shit, some real neocon shit. Yeah. Nobody's asking Al, what were you talking to Bill O'Reilly about? Nobody's asking Al, how do you bring Bill O'Reilly to Harlem?
Without letting nobody know.
The brother saying, man, we at a stage now where everything that these people are doing, they are doing in a preordained fashion. So what we have to really realize is that, like today, you had a bunch of boule, stupid-ass Masons walking around here with their ritual, with their cable-toe ritual, dressed like women. And what they're not realizing is the fact that they had to come to the Apollo. Ritualistically, what they're doing is they're going to Heru, because Apollo means Heru, which is the god of the sun, which is the original man, which is the original woman, you know what I'm saying, coming together to form Heru, which is the sun, the true Christ, coming through. But these niggas is just like women running through with cables around their neck, thinking that they gonna initiate into some new order, when all these niggas, these Mason niggas and all these niggas been flashing hand signs and shit for killing them in mass by the thousands, because there's only really one true nationality.
Yo, you see how
these was the heavy hitters back then. All of them together. Classic. The video was about an hour and 50-something minutes. Classic.
Wow.
I didn't even get to A.A. Rashid part, but all of them in there going in.
Wow. Damn, that
And you know what, Rich? A lot of people say, why y'all don't give back? Why y'all selling Dr. Ben's video? But see, a lot of people don't understand. We've been doing this for a long time. You know, and I want to show you one more video before we get in. Right? Let me see. Where's it at? Where's that video at? Oh, I got to show you this one. This one, I was like 13 years old.
13?
Yeah, I was 13 years old. Show that.
Which one are you talking about? So
there's only one up there.
Well, Melchizedek?
Yep. Yep, I was 13 at that time. Look at that. Look right here. None of that.
Now, Malcolm was black. Malcolm was hurt because of the separation from the most Amalite Muhammad. When Malcolm went to Mecca, he knew all white people was the devil, and that wasn't the first time brought it. He had been there before. You understand what I'm saying? Now, on his last year, Malcolm became a little confused, not understanding. Malcolm was a legend, and the wisdom that he put out there, that last year don't count for nothing.
Yeah, Melchizedek was on my show yesterday.
Yo, you know, I met him.
Hey, you know Melchizedek is 90 years old, y'all.
Yeah, I know. I met him. Lord Grace,
90.
He have a store in Brooklyn.
He's 90 with no medical conditions, no nothing.
Amazing.
Melchizedek is a legend in the streets, y'all. A legend.
He used to have a jewelry store in Brooklyn on Utica Avenue.
Yep.
And Lord Graceful took me there in 1980 to get a flag from a universal flag. And he gave me all the pictures I used to have around my table I got from Melchizedek. And he had his store was crazy, but he had me quote 120 lessons in front of him in 1980 just to get a flag. I know Melchizedek for years, man. Years.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? A lot of people say, well, why don't y'all give back? Well, here's a video that I put up. Brother Rich called me one day and he said, yo, sa.neter, do you know where Dr. Ben live at? I said, yeah.
Oh, you got that footage? You got that?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I know where Dr. Ben live at. Why? What's up? He said, yo, I want to give him a donation. And so I was like, oh, shit, bet. Let's do that. And so I joined Brother Rich in giving Dr. Ben a donation. Play the video, Rich. I got the footage, man.
I was like 20.
Yo, sir. We did 2 fundraisers for Dr. Ben.
Of course. We did 2 fundraisers. Yep.
We did 2 fundraisers for Dr. Ben. We had Gil Noble. We had all the scholars come out in school 12.
I remember that. Hit the video, Rich.
This is 20. I want y'all to. This is 20-year-old Rich, y'all.
You went viral too. That was that might be your first viral video, Rich.
Guys, oh look at the Pele, the Fendi,
Pele, my boy
the Fendi, and the Fendi
hat. A donation to who, man? Who's worthy of a donation, brother?
A lot of our teachers are worthy of a donation, but if there's one that stands out the most, it's Dr. Ben, you know. So
that's peace. That's peace.
Deserved, you know.
We got Brother Rich, the youth out there, would like to give back to our people.
This 20-year-old Rich,
right.
y'all.
My name is Brother sa.neter.
I'm 20 years old.
House of Consciousness.
It's 20 years ago, man.
Yeah. So showing you that yes, we did give back. Every time come on my show, I give back. I give them stuff. All of them.
Yo, this 20-year-old rich,
How you
yo.
doing,
Wow.
sir? Dr. Ben.
Pleasure.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, hold on.
But I gave him the money right there. What we
No,
doing?
no, you didn't.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. I forget.
No, first he don't know who you are. So he got to look at you and see what's going on. And then he opened the door and let us in.
Yeah, I don't remember what's
He opened the door when we start pulling money out. He says counting the money. Oh man, let them brothers in. When you look at his house, look at them bookshelves right there. Look at the books he got. And then in a room, nothing but books in one room.
Wow. Sa.neter counting their money. That's sa.neter, buddy.
You got
this for a while, son. Oh man.
You see, I got on my militant gear, the red, black, and green hat with the panther.
Yeah. Damn, yo, I ain't seen this in a minute.
Give you a donation, sir.
And now I get the camera because I want Rich this time.
You are one of our esteemed scholars, and we love you. We love the work that you have done for the people. If it was
I had no
not for
idea
you
what
and Dr. John Henry Clark, none of us really wouldn't know about Egypt today. You know, all Africa.
Prescription drug coverage at no additional premium. Dental, vision.
And that's the youth. This is the youth. See, so he appreciates your work.
How much you hit him with, Rich?
That's on 125th Street that have your picture hanging up. Remember when you came by? And I showed you the picture?
It was at least 500-600. It's hundreds.
Yeah.
Big face,
huh? Big face, honey. They got big face, honey, nigga. Prophecy. I've been big face, honey, y'all. Oh, shit. Yo,
what you got to say for the brother? This is a nice house, beautiful house here.
I'm 20 years old.
All the books you got.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get some books on
Huh? Oh, another room with books, huh? Wow.
He's throwing us a book in the room with all the books.
Right. Look at the books. Oh my God.
And believe me, he read every last one of them.
Here's the books. Dr. Ben doing his work.
You know Dr. Ben was a Jew, right?
You feel like? You feel alright?
But I don't really know if he's pulled it or not.
Much better?
I was only kidding. I actually never got grasped emergency brake. 3 other vehicles ahead of me had spun out at the exact same spot that I spoke of afterwards. They were all driving.
I don't understand, Mr. Span.
Oh man, I'm glad I had the opportunity to do this. Wow.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, I go into the archive, I go into the war chest.
He was driving with suspended lights.
This is our elder right here. We love him for the work that he has done. He has definitely changed my life. You know, all I knew about was Islam until I got exposed to the teachings of Dr. Ben, dealing with ancient Egypt, Christianity, and Judaism. There's no one else in the world that can break it down the way Dr. Ben breaks it down.
Smoking marijuana. She gave the car to somebody who was given a field sobriety test.
I'm one of the younger generations coming up in the game. And I just, the point of me coming here and donating to Dr. Ben is to let him know that his work is...
I should have turned it up. I ain't know it was this low.
Excuse me?
He asked you, did you see Aswa Crazy? That was his son.
Yeah.
What,
He thought Aswa Crazy.
He supposed to be coming soon. Crazy. Yes.
Yeah, but basically it's an honor and a blessing to be in this man's presence. I was hooked on Christianity, he was one of the first speakers I started listening to his tapes. He opened up my mind a great deal. I would have still been in the dog. So, it's a blessing to sit next to the man that has taught me so much and has helped me grow mentally, and as far as my consciousness is concerned. It's just a blessing. That's it.
Thank you. Okay.
Wow, man.
Street Conscious DVD.
To look back at this. Wow. Wow, look back at that. Oh shit, man. Wow, that's
giving your testimony.
Yeah. Wow.
You know.
Wow, that's beautiful, man.
And I gotta say this to Sa, and I gotta say this to Shabazz, and I gotta say this to everybody on the panel.
Yeah.
The documentary is already made.
Yes, sir.
Let's not complicate anything. The documentary is already made. All we got to do is sit down and do those preliminary videos and whatnot that they do when they ask everybody the same 10 questions. The documentary is in the archives, but every single time that a Azazel makes transition, that a Sekou makes transition, that a Baba Heru Samaj makes transition, when all of these libraries are burning to the ground, a piece of me goes with it. You know what I mean? Please, if y'all care anything about your brother, the Pillars, right? Let's tell this story. That's what I'm pleading with y'all with. If I could pull the trigger and I had all the archives, then it would be pulled. But now that we're on this panel together, we know that we could pull the trigger. We know that we got the ephemera. We have all of the collectibles and whatnot. It's time. Nobody could tell this story but us. There's no disrespect to any of the documentaries that have preceded this and whatnot, but like I said earlier, this conversation about the creation of the conscious community, shout out to the Detroit, shout out to the Philadelphia consciousness, shout out to the DC Capitol Heights and whatnot, shout out to Texas with Ajra, Quasi and them, shout out to what everybody in their section was doing. Ranoko Rashidi had his thing popping, Acer Hillard had his thing going on, Dr. Africa, Chicago had our good brother Dr. Blair and whatnot, Bobby was in Atlanta, Wesley Muhammad was in Atlanta, C. Freeman L was in Atlanta, Malachi York came to the A. So many different people touched so many different places. It converged in the DVD segments in the distribution center of Harlem and UCLA, the University of the corner of Lexington Avenue. But that's not to take anything away from the contributions. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson out of the DMV area and whatnot, Dr. Baruch and whatnot. There's so many names. But we were receiving their information through books, right? Because before the DVDs, it were the authors. We had a whole renaissance of authors, hundreds of titles. Then we had the collegiate revolution, City College, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Leonard Jeffries, Dr. Felder. All of them were teaching the collegiate lesson. Stokely, Steve Coakley and whatnot, Brother Daoud. These are legends, and we have to tell the story in a chronological order and whatnot properly. So many people have made transitions that they face the danger of never being mentioned. So it is our duty to resurrect these, because they gave a wealth of what. Remember Sister Myra, the who they took all of her paperwork, the Moorish Sister Myra,
the other Sister Myra, the other
Sister Myra with with all of the where she had the keys,
absolutely,
to unlock a lot of things. She makes transition. Then I've seen people's work get pillaged in these underground networks and whatnot. I've seen people get erased and whatnot. Remember Uriel Bay?
Oh. Indeed.
You know,
so we definitely read. I'm glad you. We're definitely listen. I'm definitely going to talk to all the gentlemen on this panel and everybody else about. There's so many other people about creating a documentary, and I think that there's something with all the technology that's available right now. And right now, for me, it has nothing to do with money. It's just about preserving the rich history. So there's absolutely no ego involved with me at all in this documentary filming, and I'm gonna be talking to all of y'all, and we're gonna see how we're gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely gonna make it happen. So right. I'm definitely gonna be talking to y'all.
I'm sorry, Rich. I don't mean to. Please, can I add on some name of the mothers, the divine feminine?
Indeed,
Sister Suzar, Jewel Pookrum, Mama Pill, Queen of Four. Right, we always had good company with the divine feminine, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing that we did was done in an all male dominated environment. It always had the blessings of the elders. It always had big mama energy. and it was always quote unquote protected. Mama Hafisa, how she was running things when AA came home and she took the whole, you know what I mean? She was controlling and running things, and you know, the contributions to all of Dr. Sebi's princesses and the wives that cured the cancer, cured the AIDS, and did a lot of things. Sorry, go ahead.
Yo, you know what I want to ask? Speaking of the young crowd, Shabazz, what happened? I remember being young in the projects, and you put on the young girl. What was her name? Tyra. What's up with her?
I speak to her from time to time, man. I haven't heard from her for a while. She going through things, but she's doing great. She used to live near you when you were in Harlem. She used to live near 116th.
Wow.
She moved from Brooklyn to Harlem. Then she moved to the Bronx. We kind of lost contact, but we keep up. She usually calls around February 14th because her and my wife share the same birthday.
Yo, let me ask y'all, all of y'all, what's one of the main things y'all look for when it comes to putting somebody in front of your video, in front of your camera, in front of the world? Like, what did y'all look? What was your mind frame at that time period? What did y'all look for?
Okay, I'm gonna start this one. There's an old saying. They used to ask Malcolm X, you know, who do you think you are to stand here? Where's your college degrees and he said, Malcolm used to say, my sincerity is my credential. So all it took really was for someone to be sincere that I could pick up on. And also had to have a depth of knowledge and a good way of, so it had to have knowledge, wisdom, and understand a way of expressing that knowledge. We are brilliant people, man. You could throw, like they say, you could throw a rock and hit a rapper or somebody that knows how to rhyme. You could throw, I mean, if someone gets exposed to this knowledge, they are exploding with potential to spread it. But it wasn't for, not everybody can do it. So some people have the gift, and I seem to have an eye for it. Sa.neter has an eye for it. You know, he definitely has an eye for it. We both do. And I used to bring him people, and he'll go, oh, man, that one is hot. Or he'll go, nah, I'm not feeling that one, Shabazz. I'm not feeling that one. And I would say the same. I'll be like, yo, he's all right, but nah, I'm not feeling it. But the test of time told, man, some of them are still relevant. And another person had a good eye, Brother Chris. Brother Chris had a good eye. He would tell me, he said, yeah, Shabazz, yeah, I think we got a hit here. But one of them that nobody really was feeling at first was Panic.
Oh, man, yeah.
Panic was a disruptive dude, man.
Very disruptive.
He stepped on toes. He had the right name, Panic. But, you know, Lord Graceful was a home run straight out the gate.
Panic was little Bobby Hemitt.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he loved Bobby Hemitt.
He didn't start out like that, though. He was heavily into Phil Valentine.
Panic? Rudra was the little Bobby Hemitt.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Rudra.
Yeah, Rudra came in kicking doors down.
Yeah. Didn't Rudra start a lot of drama?
That's what I said. He came in.
The Anatomy of Phil Valentine DVD. Go watch that again.
Well, as a person who was there, up front and personal, Rudra just spoke his truth. So did Phil.
I remember when Rudra came in.
Right.
I said, hell no. I gave Phil Valentine a call. I said, yo, Phil, you got to deal with this, bro.
I know y'all did.
Let me add this.
Crazy. They all wanted to retaliate.
Yeah.
Let me add this.
And I told them no.
Yeah?
Everybody. I had people, Sa.neter, you're not a chump in my eyes or nothing. I had to stop people from coming to get you, man.
Yeah.
I physically had to tell people no.
Well, let me add this.
Yeah.
They wanted to do tapes massacring y'all. And I said no. And that would have led on to more and more, and it would never be resolved, man. And I'm so grateful that didn't happen, man.
Absolutely.
Good looking, brother.
Let me add this.
Yeah.
It boils back to what Sutek said. Rudra got a piece of power. He was from St. Louis or somewhere. And when we brought him on this big stage, I think he started thinking he was on Bobby and Phil's level. And he wasn't. And I think he misspoke in a situation, just me. And that's where the ego comes in with the power, where, and then it set off a series of events. But he was another one who we put him on because if you hit the eye opener or the House of Consciousness stage, it's like you went platinum. And so his information was good. Don't get me wrong. He knew his shit. But then he started mimicking behind Bobby so much. See, Bobby can get away with all of that because Bobby is Bobby. And there's nobody who gonna check Bobby. And we know Bobby and Phil.
And for the record, Bobby Hemitt wanted to do a tape, a whole event. And I told him no. I told him no. This is my family, man. That'll take us somewhere in the stratosphere.
Hey yo, 20 years ago, Phil Valentine came 125th Street because he was coming to Sutek's store. I think this the time Sutek said I brought him in. So whenever you see these great giants come 125th, know that they come into the store the next day. So they would come out there because I bring them in. They're already in New York. So I'm like, yo, Phil, you got to come outside. We're going to be at the spot tomorrow. We got to promote. And so he would come out. And then Cynthia ended up walking up the block and started building with Dr. Nalani. And you could tell that this was 20-something years ago because Africa is working now. She's driving now. And my son Asante is working now. He's driving now.
I just saw him.
You're going to see my little daughter.
I got the footage.
I saw your son and your wife recently.
Oh, Rick, you put it back, man. I had it right there.
Oh, my fault. Damn, my fault.
I had that.
Hey, sa.neter. I just saw your son and your wife, man.
Oh, word?
Yeah, I said, yo, you don't remember me, right? I remember when they was babies, man.
Right. Damn, Rich, you made me lose the spot, man.
Let me. What did you want to play, son?
I wanted to play Phil Valentine.
Oh, let me see.
That's what I knew I did the right thing. Oh, yeah.
This right here, son?
Yeah, that's it. But I had it on the spot, though. You moved it. But go ahead, play it.
All right.
Did you see Azariah? Did you walk up from the juice bar?
No. We just came from 102.7.
Oh, okay.
And actually, we just came up from
it's history, family. This is true history, y'all. Let's respect history. Let's respect that we have recorded history that they don't have, but we have. YouTube doesn't even have this.
Yeah, that's 20 years.
This is where Bobby be standing when he give a lecture.
Yeah.
He will be here next Saturday, standing right here in front of the people, giving a nice lecture. Yeah, the street joint.
I love it.
You know?
Yeah. We're going to be doing it, good brother.
I'm going to go there and at the same
Beautiful. You got a name? Oh, Tahari.
Kahari.
Oh, Kahari. Beautiful.
I'm over there by Phil, so I can get you on tape.
You know what I mean? Well, what do you sense? What's this time?
The Phil, man. You ain't speak to him?
It's an energy baby because whenever I touch
Africa. Look at little Africa.
Wow.
She's driving now, bro.
Yeah.
She's driving right now and she's working. She's driving and she's working. And by another year, she will have her arm permit. Her arm permit, bro.
Right.
Well, you know I'm proud of my baby.
Yes, sir.
Proud of her.
It's got to dance. It's got to be something that empowers him when it rolls off the tongue. Because his is not long, it's got to be a name. Today we can't name our children because that's like branding. We have to be able to create. We got to evoke tones.
Yeah, we got to evoke tones.
So that's what I'm going to be teaching Sunday about that. So you got to hit when a child's name is.
Damn, Phil, how old was you at that time? You remember?
Listen, I'm talking to him about naming my son, whose name eventually became Amir, but I'm literally talking to Dr. Valentine about helping me name my son. He didn't have it. He wasn't even here yet. So this was in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Damn, Phil.
Like I'm watching that. Remember, I never saw that before.
This is what I'm saying. sa.neter got this footage that we don't have that. He stores it. Like, he's good at that. And like with this documentary, he's gonna pull out all types of shit, bro. So shout out. Oh man, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
I may have to give y'all some footage I got. I have bins and bins and bins of
oh my God.
Those small little tapes that we used to film on.
Man.
I have those big, huge bins. I have footage of Bobby, Phil, everybody that never even saw
you know
tapes.
You know what it would have to be, Shabazz? Were you saying that? It would have to be a docuseries. Yes,
docuseries.
It would have to be like a 5 or 6 episode docuseries.
Super facts.
It would have to be that where let's say we create a website. Like we create a website, we all got access to us, and it's a docuseries where the people purchase it and they have access. Let's say for about 6 weeks in a row, there's a new episode that airs on that docuseries. So yeah, I think it would definitely.
I would have to convert all that stuff, man.
But we got people that do that. We got people that do that for fun. We got people that do that. They're waiting for somebody to ask them to do something. That's not a problem with Shabazz. You know, that's not a problem at all. There's people out there like that, man. But I'm glad that you have that, Shabazz. I'm glad that you have that, my brother.
Listen, I spent so much money with Azariah.
Oh man.
My library was so extensive because I would go with my whole check. That's how much information I had. I gave some of it to Shabazz, but then people started calling me from weird places throughout the country, and I would ship boxes and boxes of VHS tapes in Arkansas and weird places to get their conscious community popping.
Up and going. That shit was like work. And I wanted to point out earlier for the family that's in the audience who work 9 to 5s, for the family in the audience who hold on to a job, I want to clear up any misconceptions whatsoever about who we are and how we started. Every single man on this panel have a city job when they started. Chris,
I didn't have a
working for the DOC, right? He was in corrections and whatnot. We called him Christ. Because you know he was doing so many things behind the scenes and whatnot, and you never saw him. Similar to when Rich started out, you never saw him. He was Ghostface. He was behind the camera and whatnot. Rich turned down a city job to work in the and to work in transit. Black Dot was working in transit, riding the bus before he came to Four Corners and whatnot. Shabazz was working in the government. He was working city job and whatnot. Sa.neter was working the city job and whatnot. So if anybody knows anything about New York City, working a city job is literally the lottery in New York.
Yes.
So these were not vagabonds. These were not people who had to be on the streets and to make life decisions and whatnot. The amount of pushback that we received from family members and loved ones and people who said that they cared about us when we were trying to convince them that we were doing something and we were on mission and whatnot, and to bear with us. This is not something that anybody could just necessarily do, because people is like, yo, where's this person at up here? And what's this? No, y'all don't understand. This is endurance. This is a vindication. Like, people literally lost to be here. They sacrificed and they gave up a lot of things that y'all would never even realize in order for people to run around and treat this thing like it's a fly by night thing. That's where, go ahead, Sa.
No, go ahead, finish. I'm gonna wait till you finish.
So the everybody on this panel had self-worth. They had something going on for themselves, and they made the decision to put it all on the line for this thing that we call consciousness. And that's why you see certain things where they are right now. You have to give credit where credit is due. So like I was saying, ye are rich. Ye are rich. And what does that mean? That the work has already been done. Don't stress yourself out. Don't try to, you already created the legend shit. We made it this far. I want us to enjoy this. That's why if we're going to do something, let's do this shit immediately so everybody can enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, and when you talked about when they called Rich for the transit job, I remember that because he came to me and I was so scared for the brother, because Rich is really a good-hearted brother. Deep down inside, he's a good person. And I knew how rough it was outside because I've been out there for a long time. trying to make a living off of our people is really like pulling teeth sometimes, you know, to get them to buy this, and I ain't want that for Rich. And so Rich was like, yo, Saw, you know, they called me for transit. You remember that, Rich?
I remember, yeah. I talk about it.
And I was like, yo, Rich, man, get that, man. That's a good job, bro. You got to get that. And Rich was like, yo, I want to do this on my own. I want to work for myself. And I was like, nah, brother, please, Rich, get that job, bro. Because I knew that you was going to be able to get a check every two weeks. You're going to get paid vacation. You're going to be able to file your taxes. I mean, you're going to be able to retire. And that's what I was thinking about, because I looked at my situation and I was like, nah, brother, you got to get this job. And Rich was like, nah, man, I'm going to work for myself. I was like, damn. But Rich, you did the right thing. I see now that you had and did the right thing, and you made it, brother. And that's why I was afraid at one time to leave my job.
Right.
And I had to city goddamn job, you know?
And me and Christ.
Hold on, real quick, Doc. Sutek will tell you, when Dr. Khalid had a movement and we had to go to Atlanta, and I was like, damn, I ended up wearing my Black Power uniform to work. Because I couldn't change it. So I would boot up and go to work around all them Jews, bro. All them Jews looking at me like, little tit nigga up here. But they couldn't do nothing about it. You know, as long as I'm not breaking no rules, you couldn't do nothing about it. You know? And so as soon as I get off, I end up running, getting the train, catching the spot where we all gonna be picked up at, and we headed out to Atlanta. You know, so go ahead, bro. Oh, one more thing. You a funny dude, Doc. You a funny brother, man. I follow you now. Okay. I see the joint you did on Sanford and Son, brother.
Yeah, yo, yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, that shit
funny.
Did you see his attack? Yeah, man.
I hit him up. I let him know.
Yeah, I love your videos, Doc, and I seen the other one you did too. So yeah, brother.
Yeah, listen.
Me and Chris was able to demonstrate that we could do both. And it's also important for people to know sometimes it's not a choice. It's a matter of how you want to construct what is to do. Because I was getting too much money from transit. You know what I mean? But I knew what my passion and my love was. So don't look at it as one or the other.
Right.
I tell people now who are trying to become entrepreneurs, sometimes you could be called a partrepreneur. And there's nothing wrong with being a partrepreneur, which means you keep your job, but you follow your dreams or your vision, whatever your vision is, whatever your passion is.
I love that. I love that phrase, Doc.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something.
I love it.
Speaking about how big this thing is, when me and Dot and Chris used to do the lectures, people would hear my voice, but they would never see me. I was in Atlanta one time in a supermarket, and I'm talking to somebody, and they go, somebody stops it. Is your name Shabazz? And I go, yeah, I'm Shabazz. And they go, yo, I opened a production, Shabazz. I said, yeah. He says, that's what you look like. He never saw my face or nothing. I said, oh, shit.
Well, your
guy
voice.
knows me by my voice?
By your voice, yeah.
That was crazy.
Yo,
That
can I
was
say
crazy.
something? Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
One time I took Loaded Lux to Atlanta.
Yes.
I took Loaded Lux to Atlanta to meet this brother down there. It was going to give us some music, put us in the studio. And it was dark. It was nighttime when we got to the studio. And the brother we hooked up with, there's a producer called Ill Mind. You might know him, Rich. You might have heard of him, brother named Ill Mind.
Asian brother? Asian brother?
Yeah. So we walking into the studio and it's dark, and I'm talking to Lux, and the brother that we went there to meet, he goes, "Excuse me, brother, what's your name?"
Damn.
I didn't know whether to tell him Jack or Sutek. So I said, Sutek. He said, oh shit, I recognize your voice. And that nigga, he ain't care about Lux no more. Me and that brother sat in the studio and talked. He ain't give a shit about Lux no more. And at this point, Lux was like the hottest thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't care about Lux no more. He recognized my voice. And from that point on, me and that brother been tight ever since.
Yo,
that's crazy.
Let me add this real quick.
Go ahead, Doc.
Hold on, Si. The reason we kept Brother Chris at the door is because even though the price was only $10, do you know how many people would try to get in for $7, $5, $4? Chris did not budge. He was like, he would give you his pay that money. And so, because if I went to the door, everybody would have got in free. Everybody knew Shabazz. He'd have been like, come on in. We said, no, put this on the door and the money will be straight. So even though his voice wasn't heard, his presence was notely felt at that damn door, boy.
And he carried a gun. Legally.
So we knew we didn't have no smoke because he had the 440 on all the time. So we knew it wasn't going to be no problems. And Shabazz is a martial artist. You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit of crazy from the Bronx. So we were good on that end.
Right. You know what? At the end of the night, that door money paid for the lecturers' honorarium. So I had to make sure that the finances were right. And like Dot and Brother Red Pill was saying earlier, we was working. We took more losses than we had wins. People don't realize that the blood, sweat, and tears and the financial losses, we had to pay out our own pockets to cover these expensive ass fees. Not only did we have to pay the honorarium, we had to pay for flights. We had to pay for hotels sometimes.
People don't understand that.
These people from the airport, right? We paid a lot of money out of our pockets, and I had to make sure that bread got to that lecturer. You know what I mean? At the end of the night, so they would come back and they would be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, Chris. Let me ask you. You can hear me, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I remember a Jay-Z verse in H to the Izzo. He said, "I'm overcharging niggas for what they did to the Cold Crush." When y'all seen, y'all took so many losses. Cold Crush took so many losses. When y'all seen the Polites, the Setties, or whoever's coming up, did y'all grow bitter? Did y'all have any bitterness in your heart in terms of
bitterness?
Let me finish that. In terms of we put in the real work, they're coming up like this and they getting paid, but we put in the real work and we took all the losses. How did that feel for y'all watching that happen in real time when YouTube took off?
But it's always like that, Rich. You know, when the founders build it up, other people come along because we already built it for everybody else. And so when they come in, they don't have to do what we did. We did it. We built the shit. You see what I'm saying? So now they come in with everything already built. Everything is already established. So they could just come in with books and sell a book, sell a video, sell everything. Because we the one that had to sweat blood and tears going through this.
And Rich, that's in every field. You're trying to tell me Charles Barkley, who grabbed 25 points and grabbed 15 rebounds a game, in today's market, what he would be worth? So it's in every field. We just laid a foundation so that others can come along. However, King Simon is in the building. I ain't never seen no shit like this. This nigga was selling advance tickets. This nigga had this shit lined up like a concert. And I had never seen anything like that because we could barely get $10 from people. But remember, Simon is coming from the music industry realm to make it. He knew how to structure that shit. I came to the door one time. This is before he didn't know I was at the door. And they was like, that'll be $50, please. I said, huh? Excuse me? $50. I looked behind me thinking I might have had a group of people with me. I said, you better call King Simon to the goddamn door. And he saw it was me. And he said, no, that's Dot. He good. I had never fathomed anything like that in my life.
You know, all those people
that was that polite era. That was during the polite era.
Yeah, but when I seen Brother Rich was charging $107 a ticket. I was like, man, Rich.
Hold on. Don't allow your man to wiggle out of this shit. The Sarah Sutek debate versus Aline Bay was $40, fam.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it. That was 2009, fam. That was a price that nobody really never heard of before. That
Yeah,
was
but
the
Rich
event
took this
of
whole thing to a whole nother level.
That was the
And it was
biggest
working,
event,
though.
I would say, in the community for the 2000 lecture series. The SETI versus Aleem. Nothing topped that.
Right. But you
That
see
was
what
your
you
biggest
just said,
event.
Black Dot? You see what you just said, Black Dot, about Charles Barkley putting up these points? You see how we built it, how I built it already? And so Rich could come in now because the work is done. And Rich said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. This is the price. I was like, damn, I was learning from my little brother Rich. I said, man, my ticket's going to be at least $50 now. I could get 50 for it, you know? But Rich, here's my last video of tonight. I need you to show it to let the people know how I've been getting it in. This is 20 years of work, how brother sa.neter been getting it in. Sutek out there with me.
It's dope that everybody get to see everybody's personality. Y'all see how sa.neter is, yo. This is sa.neter. Let's play this last video.
This work in for over 20 years. Bro.
The original Arabs look just like me and you. Bilal. Who was Bilal? He was the first one to call the Muezzin, the Adhan. Allahu Akbar. He was a black man. Ask any Muslim, they'll tell you. Adhan, his name is, I just said it. Bilal. He was a black man. The first one ever to call the Adhan, the prayer, was a black man, not us, man. But this is the truth. Only over 500,000 black men. You want me to show drug dealers for what? This is the drug dealer. I'm showing you the drug dealer. These are the drug dealers. George Bush. When you look at the White House, that's the drug dealer, man. We sell it to each other out of ignorance, like the brother said. We don't know who the hell we are no more. But the boss. Right, there you go. There you go. But the boss of the drug dealers is the white man. Change the mind first before you can have.
All right, that's all, Rich. This is a long video. But I've been doing this for like 20 plus years, man, on the street. And I would do it mostly on the weekend. I did it every day, but the crowd would come through on the weekend because that's when they was off. And Sutek can tell you, Sutek would even get involved. You would see white men bowing down. I mean, white women bowing down, the Jews bowing down.
Kissing your feet. You made the white girl kiss your foot.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, I've been putting in that work for a long time.
No, indeed. Listen, man, I really I'm serious about this docuseries. I'm really serious about this docuseries, and I'm gonna follow up with each and one of y'all and like really make this thing, not try, but really make this thing happen. What I want to ask y'all before we get out of here is that y'all grew up in a completely different era. We seen what we're seeing now with the Epstein files is these gurus like Deepak and all of them turning out to be freak ass motherfuckers, doing all types of crazy shit. What we witnessed with our era and the YouTube era was, and I'm gonna give you an example. I'll give you an example. They say social media, they say rappers had more mystique before social media. So people like the rappers they liked the rappers more before social media because there was more mystique about them. There was like a mystery about them. They didn't know everything about them and they thought they were more godlike. What I want to ask y'all is when it comes to what we call our master teachers, the Dr. Phil Valentines, or whoever you might see out there on the internet, do you feel as though your perception of them today is different from your perception of them in 2004 because there was more of a mystique? Do you think the internet took away the mystique of our master teachers and now we don't appreciate them as much because y'all grew up in both eras, so y'all could give me a better answer? What do y'all think about that?
Well, let me kick this off.
Yes, sir.
When I got into the conscious community,
yeah,
I was bringing a hip hop essence, right?
Yep.
Everything about me was hip hop. In 1996 and 97, when I showed up at these lectures, there were no young people there. Zero. Sister Burton, all of them, they were all old people. And I was wondering why I was there. When I got there and realized why I was going to be there with the music mixes that sa.neter talked about this and that. I realized that, and all I wanted to do was carry the crates. See, back in the days in the jam, you was down by law and everybody couldn't rock the mic. I just wanted to carry the crates. If you carry the crates of records and the speakers, they would be behind the ropes.
Right.
And it looked important. So when Brother Chris had this vision to bring this together, I just looked at it like, now I'm behind the ropes. That's all. And then they put me to work as the announcer, and I became iconic in that sense.
The MC.
What I realized about these elders is that there was...
Go to the hospital, bro. You don't look right.
I did that, sa.neter. I'm so glad that I buried that hatchet. I'm so glad that we took each other serious and we took a chance on one another and we got together, because that literally changed the course of my life. You introduced me to people who would have never seen me ever before. You opened up me to a whole nother realm of the world. I feel like I even legitimized and cleaned you up a bit by bringing you. And I brought people to 125th Street to interview. You brought me different places to interview people. It was a match made in heaven for the time that it stayed. And that was that golden era of consciousness. So once again, everybody on this panel, Brother Rich, when you took a chance in me and Blue, because we wasn't doing footage with you up until like 2016. And that was the beginning of a whole new era. Brother Chris, Shabazz, you know what I mean? Man, what I would have done to be on one of them flyers and open up for you know what I mean? But I wasn't ready. I had to work.
You
my
was in
way
the
up
audience
that
at the
status.
time.
I was in the audience as a
You was
student.
in the audience, brother.
But y'all gave me the will. Y'all gave me the passion. You made me want to aspire to be something, because I was in the, you know, other than being in the streets, other than having a street name and whatnot. You allowed me to dream again. And that saved my entire life. You feel me? So when other people see, that's why this is important, because there's going to be somebody watching this and it's going to change the direction. It's going to steer them.
Who that, Rich?
Going to be great. You know?
Who that on the screen?
That's wife. That's your wife.
Hey, what's up, Cynthia?
That's your wife.
That's my homie right there.
What up?
Yeah. Cynthia is.
Sid, what up, Sid?
What's up?
Sa.neter's wife, Cynthia.
I used to say, I don't know how she stayed with him. She put up with this craziness.
She's a legend
I
for
used
that.
to say that. I say, how in the world such a nice woman put up with this crazy man? But she was always the one to call.
Sid was the gangster.
She was.
I know.
Sid was the gangster.
I know, for real. And she used to call.
She was the gangster.
Let me tell you, sa.neter will always say, you see, there goes Shabazz. Whenever they get something, me and her was so cool, man. Oh man, yo.
Big shout out to Cynthia. I just
big shout out.
Sa.neter the other day. Big shout out to Cynthia.
Big shout out.
Oh,
I saw her with your son, and I said, goodness gracious.
Listen, so family, this docu-series is definitely gonna be in the works.
What the hell are we fighting for? Why my people don't unite no more? Is it gender wars or a lack of identity? It's not a sin to reject the wicked message they be sending me. We deal with prisms of isms. We feel trapped in a system calling visions of prisons, then attack with a vengeance. Are we scared or ignorant ignorant or just dismayed? Are we Hebrews or Christians or FBA? Are we Muslims, Moors or African Americans, Kemetic, Semitic, Indian or Sumerian? Really what we carrying is way too much. But instead of being serious, we play too much. Who am I? Can you tell me the truth? Who am I? How can my tree bear fruit? Who am I? Simply just don't know. Who am I? What we reaped, we now sow. Who am I? Can you tell me the truth? Who am I? How can my tree bear fruit? And I'm all that I am. I stand like a man with my plans in advance. I stand all the land that my past had command. Now the land that I stand is just sand in my hands. Divided we are falling with no end in sight, but together we have proved we can win any fight. To sa.neter, Jabari, Dr. Reggie, we brethren. To both Azar, Mkai, and Ozar, 7 elders, son, 10 apostle, Morpheus and Black Sage. To everybody in the chat, it's time to turn page. So let's put down titles, unite with all